We're live? I think we might be live. Let's see here. Hey, we're live. Okay. Hey, how's it going, everyone? I'm Tyler from the Final Girls Discord, and I figure I'd hop on. Had some time tonight, so I figure I'd hop on and play a few rounds of Final Girl. I had a lot of fun doing this the other night, so figure I'd do it again. To start off with here, we are going to play the weekly. For those of you who don't know, every week on the Final Girl Discord, we have a weekly challenge that Michael runs. And this week is Dr. Fright on the USS Conrad. Oh, one sec here. There we go. Yeah, this week is Dr. Fright on the USS Conrad. So we are going to give that a play. I've never actually gotten to do one of these while they were still live, and I think technically I actually missed this week because it's past midnight, but I highly doubt anyone's going to mind. Not that they would mind anyway, but I digress. Yeah, so I'm just finishing up setup here. I got most of the board set up here. I just need to draw the setup card. So let's see what we got. We got Showdown, which I haven't seen yet. That reminds me, the girl that we pulled tonight is Alice, who has a few different bonuses here: +2 time, 2 return hearts, take a cost 2 or less action card, move up 2 spaces, and move up to 1 space. And her special here, if I could ever get to focus, if you get to pop, she gets to choose a named action card. And then whenever you play that action card for the rest of the game, you get 5 dice, and you get to ignore the horror level. So that's quite nice. The problem is that she's a 4 HP final girl with 6 victim rescues necessary, which isn't ideal. So we start off over here at the bridge. Mr. Fright starts off in the hangar. And let's see what we got here for victims. Oh. We have 3 victims at the junction. Boop, boop, boop. We got 1 victim down there, 1 over in the armory, 1 over at the furnace, 2 in the escape pod, which is actually quite nice. If we can get over there, we can get 2 easy escapes. 2 up here in the left corner. 1 in this escape pod. And 1 at the mess hall. Yep, that looks right. So, for those of you who have not played this, either of these feature films, I'll go quickly over the gimmicks of both these characters since I haven't played them on stream yet. Dr. Fright's gimmick is essentially this guy. His gimmick is basically he's kind of like Freddy Krueger in that he attacks people in their nightmares. So with him, you have this dream deck, right, where you start awake, but when you play a long rest or sleep card, you go asleep into his little boiler room. While you're awake, you and Dr. Fright can't attack each other, but while you're asleep, victims won't follow you and you can't save them. Otherwise, all the rules are totally normal. You get to play a little mini game at the end of each killer phase where he may or may not attack you in the boiler room, and as you proceed through the boiler room, eventually you wake back up. Honestly, he's a pretty simple killer. His default action is just to stand there and, stab at anyone in the room. But again, while you're awake, he won't attack you at all. So, honestly, not a problem. The USS Conrad, on the other hand, is a spaceship out in the middle of, space, going who knows where for who knows why. Its gimmick is that you have these key cards. And you get to start with one of them, right? And these key cards let you activate certain functions of the ship. You'll see on the board, these little areas, there are some very thin hallways. You're actually not allowed to go through those without spending a key card to activate them and trigger them. So that's one use of them. Otherwise, there are these few cards here which will let you activate different effects around the ship. There's the Crusher over down in the trash compactor area, which basically says whenever an enemy or a victim ends their movement there, they take a damage. So victims will die, and the enemy will take damage. But if the victims are following you, they'll be safe there. So you can walk through with them. You have the Incinerator down here at the furnace. That guy makes so whenever an enemy or victim walks in, they might take 1, 2, or 3 damage, or possibly none. That takes 2 keycards to activate. But the 2 exciting ones that people actually care about on this map are the airlock and the self-destruct sequence, which are both fairly entertaining. You can activate the airlock over here where he's hanging out in the hangar by spending 3 keycards. So if you can get 3 keycards, you can go activate the airlock. When you activate it, you can... What does it say here? You put a token in the hangar, and then... Yeah, so basically you put a little token in the hangar area once you activate it, and then if you're in the hangar space or space adjacent to the hangar, you can press that button and kill everyone inside the hangar, including the killer, if they happen to be there. You'll also kill yourself if you happen to be there, which isn't great. You do have a small chance to hang on and stay in the ship, but you'll probably just die. Alternatively, finally, there's self-destruct, where if you are where I am at the bridge, and you have 4 keycards, of which there's only 6 total, you can start the self-destruct sequence, which basically gives you 2 more turns, and then once both those turns are over, if you are not an escape pod, you lose, but if you are an escape pod, you instantly kill everybody still on the ship, including the killer, so you'll just straight up win the game. And of course, the USS Conrad will be no more. But that is a pretty gimmicky way to win. It really made the feature film where you're fighting the Evomorph here pretty easy. Just because my second game, it started with 2 keycards on board, and then, speaking of which, there's supposed to be 1 here in this escape pod, and 1 down here as well. There we go. So you can go pick those up. There's also some potentially in the item decks. Anyway, so that second game I played here, I just happened to grab 2 of the keycards on the ground super early and a keycard from the item deck. Just ran over to the bridge, started it up, and walked 2 spaces to the escape pod and just left. It was not very exciting, to be honest. I imagine it gets more exciting. It's a much more exciting ending if the game's been going on a while, and it's kind of like a last-ditch effort kind of thing. But as its own win con, I found it kind of meh. Okay. Right before we get into it, we're also going to roll. I'm going to set up a quick poll here for what matchup we're going to play after this. So let me pull up a straw poll here. And then while we're playing through this game against Fright, y'all can follow the link in the chat and vote on what you want the next matchup to be. So let's see here. We're going to do multiple choice. Yep. Okay. And let's see what we roll for our potential game 2s. We have Gretel versus the Big Bad Wolf at Camp Happy Trails. Camp Happy Trails. Then we have Heather versus Geppetto. At Maple Lane. And finally, we have Red versus the Evomorph at Station 2891. You can pick multiple, that'd be fine. Create the poll. There we go. And I'm going to go ahead and copy that over into the chat. There we go. All right. That should pop up on stream there. There we go. All right, fantastic. So we're going to go ahead and get started into this game, but if you'd like to vote on what the next game will be, just go ahead and follow that straw poll link. So let's take a look at what we have on the board here. Actually, before I forget, we actually have an event to do. So our event for the game, Orphan Girl. The victim closest to you is now the Orphan Girl. While the Orphan Girl is in your space, one extra victim will follow you and you may freely move through inactive maintenance shafts. But if she dies, increase the horror by 3. Alright, well that's an obscenely powerful card. Let's see here. Because none of those are open, none of the maintenance shafts are currently open, so those don't count as adjacent spaces. So that would mean that this character is the victim closest to me. There we go. Also, accidentally put chat away. There we go. Alright, so let's see. What should our game plan be here? We have the super loader key in the armory down the bottom left there. The super loader is basically the vehicle of the map. It does let you punch a little harder and take a little bit less damage. It's this guy right here. So it does 2 extra damage while you are in it. But while you're in it, victims don't follow you. You move 1 less space. You take 1 less damage, but you also can't play short and long rest cards or search. And that's actually a problem against Fright, since you have to play short or long rest to go to sleep. So when you get in the super loader, if you're not already dreaming, then this doesn't do anything for you. And of course, while you have it, it doesn't let you use anything else. Anywho, the other items we pulled here, we pulled Alice's personal weapon, which is pretty lucky, her shotgun, which, if I had to guess, is going to be pretty powerful. Most of the personal items are. If I get it to focus here. Basically, it's a 2-handed weapon with range 0. It can't modify an action card. You have to use it with that one. Once per turn, you can discard a card from your hand and roll 6 dice. You deal damage to each enemy in your space for every star you roll. And if at least half of the dice are blank, you have to get rid of the shotgun. So potentially, it's up to 6 damage for basically 1 card from your hand, which is obviously crazy powerful. But the chances of that happening are very low. The chances of you having discarded are also fairly low, though, with this version of it, since the dice have to be blank. So the 3s and 4s aren't blank, they're just not successes. But you could put all the work into getting it and then just have it, kind of out on you. Oh, hey, Zero. Thanks for joining us tonight. Yeah, the shotgun, the normal shotgun's really good, let alone Alice's personal shotgun. So that's pretty exciting. It's not quite as good against Fred as it would be against like a minion killer, like Ratchet Lady or Geppetto. But I mean, I'm not going to turn down that kind of free damage. It's quite nice. And he only has 9 HP, so it's not like he's a big tank, right? We probably can just, after doing damage with the shotgun, hopefully punch him to death. Finally, we have the personal beacon. The personal beacon says once per action phase, you can trigger it to make the killer walk toward you, which is crazy good. As I learned in a game I recently played at Camp Happy Trails with the whistle, just once per turn making every killer run after you. Interestingly, making the killer run after you is really, really powerful. Interestingly, I just noticed on Personal Beacon it says make the killer, so it actually doesn't work on minions, which is kind of interesting. Strange. Okay, so what's our go-to plan here? I'm kind of thinking... Part of me wants to get the super loader, right? If we grab the super loader, then all of our attack cards get +2 damage, which is crazy strong. Well, no, it's already in the space with Fright. So that wouldn't be an issue in and of itself. We'd just have to walk over to him. But in order to get the keys, they're in the armory. And we couldn't walk through the maintenance shaft with the orphan girl that leads to Fright if he's in the room. Because if he's in the room, then victims won't follow us into his space. So that's a little annoying. So what could we do here? We could spend time rescuing victims. We could run on over there to the big pile of 3 and try to get them out of here. If we were to do that... Where's the nearest escape pod? Bottom left, top right, and bottom right. So that'd be 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, or 1, 2, 3. I couldn't even go to the bottom left one because Fright's there. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Actually, all of those people are pretty far from an escape pod, actually, which is a little annoying. The special victim is the orphan girl. She lets you carry +1 victim, but she's a victim herself, so it's basically just her and 2 other people. But while she's with you, you can walk through the maintenance tunnels as though you used a key card on them, which is really good. The problem is that if she happens to get killed for any reason, you increase horror by 3, which is a very big downside. Let's see. I think we want to just grab her and then start walking towards storage. I think that seems wise. If we were to do that, we could just go down to the bottom right escape pod and just instantly rescue 6 people, which seems very strong to start the game. So we're going to give that a try. We're going to play a walk. And we got a whole fat 0. So that's exciting. We could discard 2 cards to move an extra space. Is that worth it in this scenario? I don't think so. I think we're just going to take the -2 time. And move a space, lose a heart. Speaking of, we only have 3 of those. I've got to keep that in mind. That's actually quite rough. I'm going to play another walk card. We got another 0. Ugh. We don't want to go to sleep, because if we were to go to sleep, then Fright could attack us. I hate to say it, but we actually might want to discard 2 cards for this walk. The last thing we want to do is die on the first turn here. And plenty of Fright's terror cards put you to sleep and then have him attack you. So, I think we will discard Weak Attack and Focus. In order to make that a single success, we go into 3 time, and we move the 1 space with the 3 victims there. All right. Past that, we have a short rest and focus in hand. We actually don't want to play the short rest because we would go to sleep and then end up in his boiler room. So we'll just discard them for 2 time instead to go to 5. All right, so what do we want for 5? I think the answer is 2 sprints and a close call. That sounds pretty good. So go with sprint, sprint, close call. That's going to be it for us. Which then leads to Fright's turn. He throws a fit. These go back into the shop. There we go. He throws a fit in his room, blah, and then plays a terror card, which is... But if this is a dream, then I can... If you are awake, immediately discard this card and resolve the next terror card. We sure are awake, so... Instead we got, Frankie's coming for you. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, he targets the nearest victim and walks toward them. He only has 1 movement, and again, he can't go through these maintenance tunnels. So the nearest victim is over here, so he's going to walk right there. Then, if Dr. Fright is in a space with at least 1 victim, gain 2 horror. He is not. Otherwise, gain 1 horror. So our horror goes up to 5. That could have been much, much worse. Okay, our go. Let's see here. I think we just start running with these victims toward the escape pod. Yeah, that seems good. So we're gonna play sprint. Ooh, double failure. Gotta love it. The double failure on sprint is much worse than the double failure on walk. So I think we are actually gonna play close call and spend 2 time to try to make that work out better for us. And it sure didn't. We still got a 0. Okay. Good start so far. We're gonna take a damage, lose 2 time. Okay. And do we want to move a space? I think the answer is yes. I think the answer is yes. So we go there. That way Frankie can't reach us. And we already lost the heart. All right, so we could play the other sprint, hope for success. We still have yet to roll a single success at all, anywhere. So I'm not too optimistic about that being the outcome if we were to try. So I think instead we're just going to pick up all of our freebies and then spend our 2 time to purchase. Okay, we could either buy close call, which would hopefully save us some luck, or we could buy a guard just in case Frankie pulls something real bad. I think Frankie mostly just targets victims. Actually, he can't hurt us unless he puts us to sleep. So if he were to put us to sleep, would he then attack us? I don't know. I still feel like these victims would body block for us. So I think instead we are going to buy the close call for 1. And then put the close call and the sprint back out onto the shop floor. Okay. So we have a close call, a sprint, close call sprint, and all of our freebies back for next turn. And now we'd have to hope Fright doesn't kill us. But you can't be here. You're dead. Do the following based on how many victims have died. None of them have died, so we fall asleep. All right. So we are now asleep, which means at the end of every killer phase, we have to resolve one of these cards. Unfortunately, it also means victims aren't going to follow us, which is infuriating. Okay. That sucks. Finally, Fright is going to target the closest person, walk toward them, and then attack if possible. So we did avoid an attack, which is nice. Because he's still only moving 1 spot. Okay, so what can we do about that? Because our victims are currently wondering where the heck we ran off to. They won't follow us while we're sleeping. We could try to get through this victim deck, the boiler room, I mean, to wake up. Oh, actually, we have to do one of those cards right now, since we are currently asleep, and it is now the end of the killer phase. So we're going to go with top. And there's no Frankie there, so we don't get attacked. Okay. Let's see. Since we are currently asleep, we can play the short rest without fear of dying, which is nice. Could we wake up without being attacked 2 times? Potentially. That could happen. Unlikely, though. So here's what we're going to do. We are going to go through another card of the asleep deck immediately. We're going to choose the bottom. And I'm really having a tough time getting this one on camera, but it's also blank. We're going to pull again, and this time we're going to pull left. And we are attacked for 1 damage. Okay. That puts us into adrenaline range, which is kind of what I was looking for. Okay, so let's think about this. We got attacked from the top left. We know that Frankie was on the bottom of one card, the top of the other card, and on the left of this card. So what are the chances that he is in the bottom left of the last card? Is that possible? Yes, it is. He can't be at the top of the last card, though. So we're going to go up for the last card in order to... No, not to wake up yet. We want to heal. So before we do that last card, we are going to... We're going to play our short rest card. Take the opportunity to heal while we can. Ooh, big fat 0. Well, we don't want 0, because the 0 is going to end our turn. So we're going to play a close call. These dice have not been kind tonight. I have not rolled a single normal success. Oh, I could have. Thank you, 0. I forgot that I currently have adrenaline, even on the short rest. In my head, I'd already gotten rid of it. So, actually, thanks, 0. Before we play that close call, let's double check. Hey, that one did get a success. Thank you, 0. You just saved us a close call. The wonders of having a live audience. Thank you so much, man. Or woman, I guess I actually don't know your gender, sorry. Cool, so we get a... Nope, not that one. Heal 1. And spend a time. There we go. Great! Thanks. Alright. Man, I even updated my little, I even updated the little tracker down here to start showing an exclamation point to remind me of adrenaline, and I still forgot about it. So proud of myself. Alright. So we rested up, so we get the 2 hearts. So now we're going to finish off the boiler room. We're going to do the top, which we know we can't be attacked, so doop, and yep, sure enough, he isn't there. So we wake up, and they'll follow us again. All right, so from those 3 dice up there, I'm going to go ahead and remove the one of them that hasn't given us a single success yet. It is clearly cursed. So we're going to keep the 0 die in there instead. Because that one apparently wants us to actually play the game today. All right. So now they're following us again. We're going to go ahead and sprint. Gosh darn it. I cannot roll success to save my life tonight. So we're going to go ahead and use the close call that 0 saved us. Alright, spend 2 and give these a roll. Come on. Absolute junk. Okay. We're gonna ditch a weak attack and a focus in order to get the single success. So that'll cost us 1 time and let's move 2 spaces. Holy cow, chat. Oh my, okay. So we're gonna go to the bridge and then go into storage. Cool. We get to go into storage because we have the orphan with us, who lets us fit through vents. Alright, so we have 2 walks and a focus in hand. So we're going to go ahead and play that walk to try to rescue these people this turn. We still sure did get a whole 0. Yikes. But that's okay. We're going to take that 0. That is fine at this point. So we lose 2 time to go to 0 time. We take a damage. We're back into adrenaline range, but we won't be for long. It lets us move 1 space. So we're going to go ahead and move into the escape pod and rescue all 5 victims at once. Fantastic. Just dropped something there. What was it? Nothing important, I'm sure. Hopefully. Ah, it was a walk card. Never mind. Would have been very important. There we go. Okay, so we rescued 5 victims at once, which is quite nice. Walk is such a good card, just for the fact you can walk a space, not end your turn, just at the cost of an HP. And 2 time, but who cares about that? Alright, so once again, we are playing Alice, so we get 5 of these benefits, one of which is move 2 spaces, which is going to let us rescue that person in the furnace as well. So we're going to go ahead and do that and just get the rest of the bonuses. So we're going to go 1, 2, rescue the person in the furnace, which gives us all of our bonuses, which are +2 time. So boop boop. Heal 1, heal 1. Boop boop. Take a cost 2 or less action card, which I think is going to be Search. Yes, we're going to take Search with that. And move 1 space. And we're going to go ahead and move into storage, I think. How badly do we want the beacon? That's the question, huh? Not too badly, honestly. Although it is pretty useful to be able to just force the killer to go where you are. Because we want to get to the mess hall, which is up there. Alternatively, we could just go to the armory. Actually, we're right here next to the armory. It might just be worth going there and grabbing the keys and calling it a day, and then beating him to death with the super loader. I don't think we need the... Well, actually, come to think of it, we don't want to rescue any more victims, because if we rescue more victims, then if we happen to pull his finale card that's like, hey, kill victims every single turn, or I kill you, then we won't have anyone to sacrifice. I think we're going to ignore the personal beacon and instead just go over to the furnace. Alright. So what we have from there. In hand, we have a walk, focus, search. So... Oh. Also, since we save 6 victims, we activate Alice's special power, her ultimate ability, where we get to choose a named action card, and then for the remainder of the game, whenever we play it, we get 5 dice, regardless of horror level. And I think the answer to which action we're going to pick for that... I think that's pretty clearly should be improvise. The reason I'm picking improvise is improvise is the card that if you get 2 successes on it, then for the rest of the turn, all of your 3s and 4s are successes as well. It's just crazy powerful if you can get double success. The problem is that it's basically useless if you only get 1 or 0 successes on it. So we're going to go ahead and take the... But if you roll 5 dice regardless of horror level when you play it, then, you know, crazy strong. So we're going to choose improvise. Okay, so where does that leave us? It leaves us with a focus, search, and walk in hand. We have 2 time, and we're at 3 HP. I think the answer is walk, because we want to get to the armory, so we'll go ahead and play it. And that will allow it to start coming back to us. We sure did roll another 0. Let's go. Alright, so how do we handle that? We could discard focus and search to make it a 1, or we could just take a damage, call it a day. So we're going to take a damage, lose 2 time again, go to 0, move 1 space. Do we want to pick up this key card? I think the answer is probably no, because the goal is to beat him to death with the super loader key, and it costs time to do it. Actually, we're not allowed to pick it up. We don't have any time, so never mind there. All right. We are going to discard the copy of focus we have to gain a time, and then spend that time on close call, and we're going to call that a turn. All right, hanging on with 2 whole HP. Let's go. Playing 4 HP Final Girls is so nerve-wracking. You're just constantly playing on the knife edge, you know? Okay. Our freebies go back in the shop as well. All right. So now it is Dr. Fright's turn. He's going to use his default action of just attacking his space, of which there is nobody. And then he plays System Reboot. Take all of the maintenance cards on the board and any on maintenance, or all the key cards on board and any of the maintenance cards, and return them to their key card item cards. If at least one is returned, gain 2 horror, and then trigger an event. This card has been talked about by the designer a lot. They didn't word it very well. What this is saying is that all of the key cards you've placed on the board yourself to open up maintenance shafts, and any you've spent on those maintenance cards I showed at the start of the video, start of the stream, those are were removed. The 2 that are just like the one on my space and the one in the escape pod, those aren't removed. Those just hang out. We didn't return any, so the horror doesn't go up, and then we trigger an event. So what we get? We got Emergency Override. The Incinerator, Airlock, and Self-Destruct all require 1 less keycard to activate. Cool. Makes it easy. Also, I can't get my camera to focus on the cards tonight for anything. Sorry about that. Also, while I'm looking at it, the camera's awfully bright. I'll fix that between games. Alright, honestly, easy event and emergency overrides are just easy for us. It's just a positive. So, our go, 2 HP, 5 horror, 6 time to spend. We want both the close call and search that we have in hand, so we're going to hang on to those. We're going to go ahead and pick up all the freebies, which puts us to 8 cards and 6 time. Okay. I'm going to take a look again. Superloader. Okay. I think we should probably buy... We should probably buy a copy of Improvise and a copy of Distraction. Start working on the horror level. Alright. That means Fright's turn once again. We are back to 6 time. He plays I'm So Sleepy. If you're awake, roll a die. If it's less than the current horror level, you fall asleep. Alright. Why is it the one time that I wouldn't have minded like a bad roll and just falling asleep? We rolled the natural 6. Are you for real right now? Alright. Well, we don't fall asleep. So that's something, at least. Either way, afterwards, Fright targets nearest victims and walks toward him. So he's going to walk right here. Which means next turn he's going to kill that person, and we're not going to worry about it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards in hand, and our turn. So, first thing we're going to play is that Improvise card. Since we've triggered our ultimate ability, we do get to roll 5 dice for it. So we're looking forward to that. And we're looking for 2 successes. Let's go. We got 1. 1 success. And 2 threes. Even rolling 5 dice, I can't get 2 successes. Holy cow. Alright, well, the good news is it's still easy. The answer is we're going to discard a copy of when you have to move 1, 2 spaces, so we probably still want both copies of Walk. So we're going to discard a weak attack and a focus. But that does give us 2 successes, so from this point forward this turn, all of our 3s and 4s are successes. All right, what's next? We probably want to play Distraction. I think it's the most important one. He's threatening to increase horror next turn by killing that victim, which would put us to 6, which is only 1 away from being down to 1 die. We rolled 2 2s. Are you kidding me? Oh, man. That is rough. You know what? Let's go play Close Call. Go down to 4 time. And try again. I mean, come on. What are the chances that we roll only 1s and 2s the rest of the game? Right? 1 success. Alright. I mean, we'll take it. We gain a time, reduce horror by 1. Yep. There we go. Oh my. Oh my, oh my, oh my. Yikes. Alright. We'll play a walk. We're just gonna walk a space. Single success. Alright, so we'll go ahead and spend the time. Move 1 space over to the armory. Hi, Mr. Victim, how you doing? And then we're gonna search. Boop. Single success, which is all we need, since that gives us the super loader keys. Neat. So the super loader keys say that while we're in the same space as the super loader, which is in the hangar, we may take and equip the super loader item card. Awesome. Okay. So I guess what that means is we're going to play our key card. We're going to use it to activate this tunnel, which now lets us move over into the hangar. We're going to walk into that hangar because we still have our not distraction, the one that lets you turn 3s and 4s. Improvise. We still have improvise turned on. We got a 4 and a 1, so the 4 is a single success. So we're going to go ahead and walk on over. We aren't going to take the victim with us. We have no real reason to save them. And against Fright, you actually want us to leave the victims just kind of on the board. So that's what we're going to do. So we're going to walk on over. We're now in the same space as the super loader, but before we equip it, we need to take a couple things into mind. One, while we have it on, victims won't follow us. All of our movement is reduced by 1, and all the damage we take is reduced by 1. But more importantly, we can't play short or long rest cards or searches while we have it equipped. So before we equip it, we're going to play short rest. Which gave us a 0. Are you kidding me? Well, I can't fix it. So, the dice are just after me tonight, guys. This is rough. I think I could count on one hand how many natural successes I've rolled tonight. This is so bad. I don't think I've ever seen this happen in Final Girl. Holy cow. So the good news is we still get to heal 1. The bad news is we lose a time, horror increases by 1, and our turn's immediately over, so we don't get to play the focus we still have in hand. We also can't discard it for time, which means we now get to... We can't equip the super loader either. So we just get to spend 2 time. Good. Oh, also, because we did short rest, we're asleep now. Woo! Woo! So we're back in the boiler room. Aw, jeez. I think we're going to take a guard. Since he can now attack us, and we have to do nothing next turn anyway, I think just playing it safe, grabbing a guard card, and calling it good seems like a plan. Alright. So, reset this deck real quick. Put all the freebies back. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 freebies are back in the shop. And then we add back the rest, which is Close Call, Search, Distraction, Improvise, are all available to be purchased in future turns. Huh. I never realized there were 2 copies of Improvise in the shop. I didn't realize you could actually just chain them together like that. I've only ever really played one and then taken a break turn. Because if you have Improvise turned on, why would you ever not empty your hand? I guess the idea would be is you could buy 2 copies of Improvise in case you fail the first one, which is smart, but I just haven't really considered doing that. Okay. Any case, Fright now takes his default action of killing a victim. It's his first one. He did it. The man finally killed somebody. Good for him. We're all proud of him, which increases horror by 1. So now we're up to 6. But the joke's on you, Fright, because I have a super loader. He then plays a terror card. Slippery. The killer can freely move through all maintenance shafts. Oh! That's super cool! Are any of you guys super familiar with all the sets in this game? Have you ever done minor dark powers for other locations? I think this is the first time I've ever seen a minor dark power attached to a location instead of attached to just the killer themselves. That's awesome. I've never seen that before. Oh, that's so cool. Neat. Okay. So Fright now has 2 extra HP, which we're going to have to go through before we can do anything else. But other than that, he doesn't do anything else this turn. So now we're back in the maintenance shafts. Or back in the boiler room, pardon me. Sorry, we're on a spaceship, so in my head, the entire thing's kind of a boiler room. It also means that Fright currently has 11 HP. He's going to add 2. So we'll go ahead and add that to his total here. Just remember, it's 2 extra from that minor dark power. Alright. Boiler room time. We're going to choose up for our first one. And we are not attacked. We want to remain asleep, so I'm not going to do any more cards. Actually, I'm not sure I'm allowed to do more than 1 during the killer phase. I think it has to be during the action phase. So if I wanted to do more, I'm currently stuck. But now it's our turn. So, what are we going to do here? We currently have 3 HP. I don't think we want to get any more than that. We have 6 time, though. So that's good. Let's see. What would we want to buy during our turn? I think the answer is Retaliate for 4. And then what? Distraction for 3? That seems pretty good. Sure. So we're going to discard a copy of Focus in order to bring us up to 7 time. Then we're going to go ahead and buy the Retaliate and Distraction. Although if I purchase the Retaliate, then I'm not going to be able to... Oh, also, before I forget, we're equipping the super loader now. So now we're actually in the vehicle. Yeah, I think that's good. I think we buy the retaliate and distraction still. I think it's still the right call. And then we also get all the freebies. Cool. Which then means it's Mr. Fright's turn, and we're going to hope he wants to come run at us. I doubt he's going to be running at us, but it sure would be great of him if he did. So he plays his terror card. Incinerator Malfunction. All victims adjacent to the furnace panic. There are none, we rescued them all. Roll a die for everyone at the furnace. There are none. And then the killer targets the nearest, walks toward them, and attacks. The nearest to him is that victim over in the maintenance shaft, so he's going to walk down a space. And he still only moves one space per turn, so he's still just staying there like a loser. Good for you, Dr. Fright. Okay. And now it is the end of the killer phase. You know, I just realized we actually don't want to hurt Fright yet. If we hurt Fright, he'll lose his slippery minor dark power, and we'd really like it if he would come on over to us and, you know, fight. That would be quite nice. But he won't be able to do that if we beat Slippery off of him. So we might just guard this turn instead. Anyway, if we're attacked, we're going to go ahead and go down through the asleep deck. And we are once again not attacked. Alrighty. Also, just because we've done half of it, I'm going to just turn those top 2 cards face down without looking at them from the side. That way it's just easier on my hands to keep in the camera. And we know that just there's been one attack at the top, one attack at the bottom. We haven't had either of them. Okay. Our turn. I think it might actually be wise to just walk over into Dr. Fright's space. We could start beating on him. Instead of waiting for him to come to us, we could just go to him. That also will potentially protect that victim. So we're going to do that. We are just going to play Walk. We move 1 fewer space to a minimum of 1, so no matter what we do here, we're just going to move 1 space. We sure did still roll 0, because we're really, really good at that. Yikes. It's probably still fine, though. We will discard, because we only have 3 HP. So I'd rather not risk being murdered by Fright. So I think we're going to discard 1 copy of Walk. And we're going to discard our Short Rest, because we can't sleep while we're in this thing anyway. I'm going to discard these 2. And we're going to walk through this little shaft. And now we can start being on Fright and not worry if he's slippery or not. Good. And we lose 1 time. Puts us to 5. Okay, so now that we're here, we probably want to discard some cards to get ready for next round. I've got Guard, Retaliate, Distraction, Focus, Weak Attack. What do I want next turn? I want to buy for 3 that 1 copy of Improvise. Then probably for 4 Furious Strike. I think that sounds good. So that'd be 4, 5, 6, 7. So I need to discard 2 cards here. Okay. So we're going to go ahead and discard a copy of Guard and a copy of Focus to get us to 7. And then we're going to buy those things I said. Improvise, and Furious Strike. There we go. And we also get the free Focus that was left in the shop. Cool. All right. These all go back out. So the 4 freebies we played go back in the shop. The Guard goes back in the shop for later. And now it's Mr. Fright's turn. He throws a fit in the room he's in. He is 2 turns away from triggering his finale. And the terror card he plays is... Better Stay Up Late. If you are awake, -1 die for horror rolls during the next action phase, which would have been terrible. If you're asleep, immediately resolve all remaining boiler room cards. Alright, so we have to wake up, which is frustrating. And then he's going to walk over and kill this victim, which is fine. But first we have to resolve these 2 boiler room cards. And wake up. And then we can't attack him next turn. And I don't have a way to fall asleep next turn either. So that's a bummer. Oh well. We're going to go up. Is that right? We know we've done 1 up and we know we'd have 1 down. We'd have no idea about sides, so we're just going to go up. And we still got nothing. So both the ups are... No, both the downs are now gone, so we're going to go down. There we go. Whole lot of no attacks. Neat. Alright, so we're awake again. Which means although this victim will follow us, they won't, because Dr. Fright sure does walk into space and kill them. Bleh. Good job, Fright. You've now killed 2 people. Really exciting stuff there, Fright. Truly a monster among men. Alright, well, there's a whole lot of nothing we're even allowed to do to Fright while we're awake. So, what do we want to do instead? Anything? We probably want to lower the horror level if I had to guess. We only have 1 copy of Focus in hand. You know what? Screw it. I don't think we buy anything. I don't think we play any cards, I mean. Instead, we're just going to spend our time here. We have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 cards in hand. Alright, here's what I'm thinking. We're going to discard a Focus to go to 7 time. There we go. Then we're going to spend 6 of it to purchase Critical Blow, and 1 of it to purchase a Close Call. And that's going to bring us to 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 cards in hand, so we get 3 of our freebies. So we're going to take the Focus, the Short Rest, and the Walk, and leave 1 walk behind. So for those of you keeping track, we have a Close Call, Critical Blow, Furious Strike, Improvise, Weak Attack, Retaliate, Distraction, Focus, Short Rest, and Walk in hand. However, we're currently awake, so Fright will not attack us. He isn't allowed to. So his default action here will do nothing, and then he plays a terror card. Gas Leak. Roll a die to determine which maintenance shaft leaks gas. 5. Which says the lower left leaks gas. So the room Dr. Fright and I are in springs a leak. Everyone in a space adjacent to an affected maintenance shaft lose a heart. That is awful for us. And Fright takes a damage, but it doesn't really matter much. And then we play an event card. Boop. Good cooking. Whenever you end the action phase in the mess hall, recover an HP. I swear every single event card in this ship is just good for you. I think I've seen like 1 that's negative, and even then, it really doesn't hurt you. If anything, it provides potentially another way to kill the monster. Sure, it could kill you, but then you have to like make an effort for it to kill you. It doesn't matter. Okay. So here's the problem that I just realized. We actually can't fall asleep. We are currently in the superloader. And while we're in the superloader, we're not allowed to sleep. Oh, this thing is tricky against Fright. It's so annoying. It also means that after next turn, Fright's going to trigger his finale no matter what we do. So now the question is, do we get out of the super loader? Because we can unequip it during the upkeep phase here. I think we have to. I think we have to unequip the super loader. Plenty of Dr. Fright's finales. One of them removes him from the board. One of them... And the other two don't. One of them makes you asleep forever, and the other one lets him attack you even if you're awake. So, at the end of the round, we are going to go ahead and unequip our super loader, so that way we can fall asleep and heal while we still can. Because in a minute here, we're really going to want to be in that super loader. Ah, geez, this is rough. Because I would love to beat this man to death with the super loader, but I can't go to sleep and do that. I'm in the super loader. Shoot, this guy is annoying. Alright, so instead we're just going to play a short rest and go to sleep. We got 2 3s, which does not help us. We can't roll anything today. We have to discard 2 cards in order to trigger it. So that's going to be a copy of Focus and... Weak Attack. Is that right? No, it's going to be a copy of Focus and a Close Call. In order to get to single success. Do I need single success? Actually. I'm going to go to... Yeah, I do. Because I'll go down to... 1 die range, which would be very bad. Actually, do I want 2 successes here? That's kind of a question, too. I think the stuff I'd have to go up for that is too terrible, so the answer is probably no. I could play the Close Call, and instead hope that one of those 3s turns into a success. The chances of that, especially tonight, would be pretty bad, though. So, instead, we're just going to discard 2 cards to discard Walk and a Focus. No. No, I'm sorry. Focus and a Close Call. Discard Focus and Close Call to heal 1 and lose a time. So we got up to 3, and now we're asleep once again. Back into the boiler room, so Dr. Fright can attack us. I also just realized we can't walk away, because if we walk away, the super loader's in this room. Ugh. Super loader is real annoying. Actually, if I understand this right, the super loader key card gives us the ability that while we're in the same space as the super loader, we can take and equip the super loader item card. So we unequipped it, got out of the super loader last turn, but because we have the key, I think we were allowed to get back in. Well, if that's the case, I would have done this turn very differently. Maybe not. Either way, we're going to go ahead and get back into super loader then. We're going to turn the key, get back in the super loader. Nice and asleep. Which lets us attack Fright again. Which means it's time for Improvise. As you might recall, we have triggered Alice's ultimate, so we get 5 dice for Improvise. We got 1 success, and we have to discard 2 cards to get the other one. Holy cow. Okay, well, we're going to discard Walk and... Weak Attack, I guess, which sucks, but I think we kind of have to. No, let's discard Walk and Distraction. That seems fine. We'll discard Walk and Distraction. That is completely okay. So now we have 2 successes. So for the rest of the turn, all of our 3s and 4s turn into successes. And we are going to play Weak Attack. Two successes. We do 1, 2, 3 damage to Fright, which removes his slippery minor dark power. Alright, good start. I think after that, we're then going to play our critical blow. Double success for the first time all night, so that's 3, 4, 5 damage to Fright. And we reduce horror by 1, and somehow we still get to take the rest of our turn. So we're going to just push our luck and play Furious Strike. We got 1 success, which is all we need because it does 3 damage to Fright, and we reduce horror by 1. Okay. So that's 3 damage to Fright, which brings him down to 0. So we're going to flip his Final Heart token. What we got? Do-do-do-do. Nothing! Bam! Fright is dead. Cool! We killed him 1 turn before his finale triggered, which is not how I normally do against Fright. Normally I take it very, very slow. Cool. We got it. We got the win. That was fun. That was entertaining. Super Loader is an axe kind of with a downside. It's armor, I suppose, but it's an axe that's always available, which makes it really good. So that's something. Okay, cool. Well, I'm going to pack this up. If you haven't had a chance yet, go ahead and vote in that straw poll for which matchup you'd like to see next. I'm going to go ahead and get that set up. Since I know Michael would ask about it if he was here tonight, I thought and since I'm going to post this video to the weekly, I don't know. I think it's all right. I really dislike the USS Conrad. Fright really didn't get a chance to do anything in this game. I just kept keeping the victims 1 space away from him. Like, he only killed 2 all game. That's so embarrassing. Orphan Girl is just such a crazy good event. And once again, all the events I've seen here are just positive for you. There's really no downsides to being on this map. Everything on this map that I've seen just seems to want you to win. Which makes it, I think, my least favorite map. And I hate saying that because I do think there's a lot of really cool design here. I do like a lot of the stuff it's doing. But man, it's just so easy. With all of the mechanics that this map has that like let you do cheesy or cool things. Because of that, they really could have went all out with making the cards for the map really, really bad for you. You know, like they really could have dove in to making it really difficult. Just stuff that would have absolutely wrecked you whenever you pull it. But like an extra minor dark power for the villain, who cares? You know? Sure, it lets them move through his maiden shafts, and that's really cool. And I do like that it is a minor dark power. I don't mind that tier. It's just not like a bad card to pull. Pulling minor dark powers always kind of feels like you get a bonus turn. I digress. I'm going to go ahead and pack this guy up, and while I do that, if you haven't yet, go ahead and vote in that straw poll for which one I should set up next. What to do? How about you guys? Have any of you guys out there played the weekly this week? Or if you're playing in the tournament, because I know several of, some 32 of us in the Discord were. If you're playing the tournament, let me know how that's been going. If you've played your game yet or what have you. I played mine last night. I did record it. I'm hoping to get to share that with you guys pretty soon here. So that should be fun. And I may or may not get to show you more after that. Depends on how my opponent compares to how I did. Unfortunately, though, the TO has asked us to not talk about those matches until our opponents have played them. In any sort of detail, that is. So I can't just go sharing my entire playthrough. But you can be sure I'll talk about it after my opponent gets a chance to play. Okay, so we reset the shop. Put all the freebies back. Retaliate has to go in here. There we go. Alrighty. Put the victims back in. Take these two away. Key card. Items. Cool. A shame we didn't get to play with Alice's shotgun this game. It just felt like the wrong call to go get it compared to just getting in the super loader, which is always available, and just hitting him since it's, an axe. An axe is crazy good. But is what it is, I suppose. Been a hot minute since I played with Alice. I kind of forget which feature film she's in, but I think she's season 2, right? She should be from this one. She's not from this film, I mean, not the USS Conrad, but no, she's season 2, so it shouldn't have been too long ago. For the life of me, I can't remember. Alright. Card set up. Put those in. There we go. Let's go back. There we are. If you're catching this later on the video, I'll leave a timestamp below to when the next game starts, so you can just skip ahead. There we go. Fright himself, I'm also not the biggest fan of. I do like the falling asleep mechanic in general, but I don't like the minigame associated with it at all. I really dislike having to fudge with the cards. Also, wow, we spent that entire game and he never once actually attacked us, did he? Did we seriously play an entire game against Dr. Fright, go through 9 terror cards, and he didn't even punch us? He never even tried to punch us? Did that really happen? Because if so, that's hilarious. That's... Oh, man. Not my favorite killer. He's alright. He's got some cool stuff. I really like his personality a lot, but he's got some issues. We'll say that. He's got some issues. So, yeah, I didn't expect to like this weekly much, and unfortunately I really didn't. It's alright. I had fun. Playing Final Girl is always a fun time. But it just never really felt like there was much danger. Even playing a girl of 4 HP. And given how terribly I was rolling, I definitely should have been dead. I should have been dead forever ago. I think you could literally count on one hand how many successes I rolled that game. Like, natural successes. I'm sure it could not be more than 6. It was embarrassing. And we still won. Also, I briefly talked about it on the Discord, but I'd be super interested in seeing how this game plays when you only roll d4s. So instead of using d6s with 2 successes, uh, two discards and 2 blanks, you just play with 2 discard sides and 2 blanks and see if that was even winnable. That's basically the game I just played, and it sure did end up being winnable due to Fright and the Conrad just playing in my favor all game. Okay, let's try that straw poll and see if anyone has a preference on what we play next. Let's take a look here. Results. We got 1 vote for Gretel versus Big Bad Wolf at Camp Happy Trails. Thanks, Zero. It's appreciated. I assume that was your vote, so we'll go ahead and go check that out. Gretel versus Big Bad Wolf at Camp Happy Trails. All right. If I remember right, it's Gretel from Hansel and Gretel's. Well, of course. Of course, she's from the Big Bad Wolf set. If I remember right, I don't think Gretel's actually very good. If I recall, her ultimate ability is pretty weak. Let's take a look here. Gretel. Her ultimate is you may convert a 3 to a star by discarding 3 action cards. Yeah, that's horrible. That's so bad. Wow, that's rough. That's basically just a nothing. Why did I put her back? I need her. Get out here, Gretel. Other than that, though, she is still a 6 HP final girl, which is pretty good in and of itself. She gains 2 time, takes the long rest action card, which is awesome. Gains an HP, has move 2 spaces, and double remove horror. That's pretty good. All of those are very nice, actually. So her ultimate sucks, but she still gets benefits from rescuing victims, which is pretty cool. That's cool. Hey, Michael. Glad you could make it back out. How you doing? Also, we just finished up the game, the weekly. We just played the weekly, and just finished that up. We were playing Alice against Dr. Fright. I'll share the stream later so you could... I'm doing pretty well, thank you. I'll show a stream later so you can catch that if you want to, and I'll talk about it in the weekly. Also, I just noticed, but Gretel's knife is an interesting personal weapon. It's 0 range, of course, 1 hand, 2 damage. So it's 1 more damage than a normal knife. But interestingly, it says if you have a knife in each hand, you may use both when attacking. Which I think it's just pretty funny that her weapon needs 2 weapons to work, but she still only has the single envelope item. I'm actually a little sad about that. I kind of wish they would have printed a second one for her to just use and just shoved it in the envelope. That would have been nice to see. That's okay. Maybe there's some technical issues with putting 2 cards in an envelope. Who knows how their production staff works. Anyway, we just finished up our first game, so we're going to rock into the second one here, which Zero voted for. So it is Big Bad Wolf at Camp Happy Trails. Ugh. So we're just getting set up there. No, Michael, I haven't. I have some 50 games to submit to the tracker still. I haven't submitted any of mine yet. How soon is soon? Because if you're gonna be doing that, I could take the time to shove those in for you. But if you're gonna do it in like an hour, probably not. But if we're talking like the next couple day here's, Oh, just the weekly? Oh, I could put the weekly in tonight. That'd be easy. I have not put in the weekly yet. I'm on a stream, so I don't want to take the time to do that. I'll put it in after stream though. Ah, if you want to add it in for me, um, if you want to just shove it in, I'm not sure what all info you need. Telling while you watch, I see. What all info do you need for it? It was a victory if that's what you need. If you want to add in that we basically didn't roll a single normal success the entire time and still came out ahead, go ahead and make that note. All right, cool, sounds good. I will add it in after. He starts at 5. Okay, there we go. There we go. Let's see, you guys see there. Yeah, I was actually just talking before you arrived, Michael. Yeah, the weekly was super easy. We basically just went through, grabbed the super loader, and then, just ran a house on Fright. He killed 2 victims the entire game, and he never attacked us. We went through the entire boiler room twice, never got attacked. Had a retaliate in hand, I was ready for it, and he just decided to never punch us. We rescued 6 victims almost immediately by grabbing Orphan Girl from our starter event, and then just went through the pipes to rescue 6 dudes. Went and grabbed the superloader key, went and beat Fright to death, and that was the end of Fright. Yeah, I would believe it's one of the easiest ones you've ever done. It's I I know some people say they have trouble with him. I think Fright's easy on his own. He doesn't really have too much going for him, and because Retaliate exists, his boiler room stuff honestly isn't all that spooky. And then you just add in that you're on Yosis Conrad. It's just not hard. I really dislike that map. It's got a lot of cool stuff going for it, but boy, do I hate how easy it is. Like, we just kept pulling event cards that would either do nothing or basically nothing, or were actively positive for us. Also, to be fair, Fright has his own cards that are positive for you. The very first card we drew was, if this is a dream, then can I whatever. But we weren't asleep yet, obviously, so yeah, I agree. It sort of feels like if Sacred Groves is another killer, the USS Conrad is basically having a second, not final girl exactly, but it feels kind of like having what's a good example? Have you guys ever played like Super Mario Galaxy? It feels like having that co-op partner in that game where they can't really do the stuff that you can as Mario, but they can like shoot stars at stuff and help out in those ways. It feels like having a little guardian angel on your side who can just give you a buff. I also had a realization during that game that the Conrad basically just has a axe at all times available to you, and given how overpowered axe is, that's pretty crazy. Oh, actually, never mind. I take that back. I take that back. You can't always get it. You need the super loader key, and that's in an item pile, so you might not get it. My bad. Actually, in that way, it's actually kind of an axe with extra steps. I just happened that game to start with it on top of a deck. I forgot about it. My bad. Yep, 2 extra win cons as well. Yeah, it's not a hard game. I'm not sure what Fright even wanted on that ship. I'm not kidding when I say he never attacked us. It literally never happened. I'm just kind of wondering what he even got out of that whole situation. He came on board, killed two whole people. I kind of feel like we just interrupted his vacation. You know, maybe he just wanted to see space. He is a scientist, right? Like that's his backstory. So maybe we just ruined that man's dreams. He killed no one in your game? Man, you know, I think Final Girl's at its best when it's a really funny, spooky time. But boy, I have a weird number of games where I feel like I'm just bullying the killers, where we're just being dicks. I do occasionally feel that way too about with the victims, but I feel less bad when I'm doing it to victims. I'm usually doing it in order to kill the killer. Um, but man, sometimes we're just mean to the killers. All right, there's those finale cards. Tarot cards. Yeah, there we go. I had him chasing the beacon to the opposite side of the map. Took him 5 turns to get there, and then I went up to him and started wailing on him. Good lord. That's right, you mentioned that to me the other night. When we were streaming the other night, you were playing it. And he just walked on over to it, ignoring everyone else. And the fact he only moves 1 space per turn is so rough as well, because he moves so slowly. Although I'm kind of surprised. So in the 5 turns it took him to get there, there wasn't any victims in the way? Because he does attack by his default action every turn. I guess you've had plenty of time to just get them out of the way, though. Rescue him by maintenance shafts. Yep, makes sense. The maintenance shafts on that map are really, really powerful. Holy cow. Two, three, four, five, six, seven, eight, nine, 10 terror cards. There we go. Put those back in there. Set up and item cards. Yeah, in the game we just played, we started with Orphan Girl a couple spaces away, so we just walked on over to her, and then we had maintenance shafts, and then we had to rescue 6 people and called it a day. I tend not to rescue too many people against Fright. I felt pretty okay with 6 since I realized pretty quickly he wasn't going to be killing too many people. Um, but normally I make an effort to only rescue a couple to get the better bonuses, and then let Fright do whatever, just so that way in case he pops that finale that he needs to kill people with. Ended up not mattering that game because, we killed him before the finale even triggered, but still. Yeah, I just get paranoid against Fright. Shoot, sorry. Boop. I get paranoid against Fright. Um, ever since I saw that finale, especially when I'm playing someone like Alice with her 4 HP. Sorry about that, y'all. It's a really, really old tripod, so it's not very stable. I don't rescue much in general. A few for the bonuses, but most people seem to prioritize it more. I'm with you, Michael. I don't rescue nearly as much as I think other people do. I've come around on it more. When I first started playing, I rescued basically nobody. But ever since I started seeing more and more dual attack finales pop up, keeping killers at low bloodlust became more important. And obviously, rescuing people is just a good way to keep those numbers low. But in general, I tend to prioritize just going, searching, getting what I need done, and maybe rescuing a couple people on the way. I mean, you've seen some of my games against like Hans at Creech Manor, where I prefer using people as meat shields and just I prefer using them for other reasons. Yeah, exactly. Or feeding Geppetto. Man, I love feeding Geppetto. It's such a meme. All right, so there's the events. Oop. Items. Oh boy. So this is a little off topic, but speaking of like I complain a lot about the bumpers at the top of the Bloodlust tracks that discard tarot cards. I noticed AJ talking on the Discord the other day, and he mentioned that in an older thread, I think, that they've been watching like the meta, so to speak, of Final Girl and how people are interacting with it outside of just like their playtest groups. Um, as the game's like grown and gone on, and it's really nice to see that they're building stuff going forward that kind of counters that a bit. Um, it was someone new in the Discord, but they mentioned like they really were annoyed when they got to the finale against Krampus because the finale just absolutely roasted them. So it's nice to see that they're making the finales a little bit more dangerous. So you really don't want to be hitting them to start with. Okay. 2, 2, 2, 3, 3, 3, 4, 4, 4. Welcome to camp. Okay. We got a first aid kit in the cabins. Whenever time you use an action card to recover health, you recover an additional health. Over in the dock, we have mysterious pills making a cameo appearance from the Wolf Asylum, so that's fun. I'm kidding, obviously. They do something different, Wolf Asylum, but you can discard them to reduce horror or gain 2 HP. And the archery bow. That feels familiar. I can't talk about too much, but it's not a spoiler since it's the top item of the deck. My tournament game has an archery bow in it. So that's fun. Okay. Now we got set up, which is treasure hunt. Okay. Start there. Start down here. Krampus really showed they're making new stuff that counters some of our usual strategies. I love it. Took me off guard in my first few games. I'm glad to hear it. Also, hey, welcome to the stream. Yeah, cool. Glad to hear that. I am still waiting for mine to arrive. My tourney combo was Camp Happy Trails against Geppetto. That was my round 1, and I played that last night. My opponent still hasn't played it, so I can't talk about how I did just yet. But I did record it, so once my opponent reports their game, I can post my I can post the recording. All right, this is the setup that has one person on makeout point instead of the normal 2. Also, I'm standing people up again. Old habits. There we go. And one person over there. There we go. All right. There we go. So, before we get into this, real quick, I'm going to... Oh man, I feel like you probably rot that matchup. I have basic Hans at camp. That's fun. That's a nice, simple matchup for a nice first round. Anyway, real quick, I'm going to run 3 random games here and add them into a poll for you guys. We're probably going to play one more after this tonight, if I had to guess. So, whichever one wins the straw poll will be the combo I do next. So let's take a roll here. We have Lori against the Evomorph on the USS Conrad. I'm going to go ahead and veto that one since we just played there. No, I'm not playing on the USS Conrad. There we go. I just played Fright. I'm not going to do that one either. There we go. Selena versus Organism against on Maple Lane. Straw poll. Selena versus the Organism on Maple Lane. Also, going forward, I think I'll just roll these before the stream starts and then not waste time. Reiko versus the Evomorph at Wolf. Or Jeanette versus the Ratchet Lady at Sacred Groves. All right, you can pick multiple options and create poll. Here we go. Okay, I'm gonna grab the results. Nope, not results. I need to share it. So I'm gonna go ahead and copy that into chat. There we go. Okay, if you guys want to, throughout the game, if you want to think about which one you want to see next, you can vote in the straw poll, and that will be the matchup I do next. If that's something you care about. Okay, anyway. I can't talk about the game too much just yet, since my opponent hasn't played it, but it was a fun one. I want to like Geppetto more than I do, but I've talked about that plenty. He's got some serious design flaws that disappoint me, but you know, it's really hard to hate the dude who turns people into literal puppets. All right, what's our event? Ugh. We've got Dark Waters. Place the Dark Waters token in the lake. Every victim in the lake is immediately killed, and whenever a victim enters the lake, they are also immediately killed. Makes sense. Okay, so we are not going to that lake. The Big Bad Wolf did some unspeakable things in that lake, so we're just gonna avoid it. That or the camp counselors have really let the park safety guidelines slide for a while. Okay. So for those of you who haven't played this killer before, this killer has two modes. He's got a hunt mode and a track mode and a slay mode or something along those lines. Basically, when the game starts, down here at the bottom of the bloodless track, he's only going to be walking around and staring and terrorizing people that way. But once he increases his bloodlust by 2, then he'll start actually killing people. His cards get more dangerous, and he starts actually being a threat. So, we're going to go ahead and take our opportunity while he's not being a threat. So what do we want to do? Let's see. So the first thing he's going to do is run over and start terrorizing people. Just start looking at him weird. We don't have any good weapons out. Bow kind of sucks. And there's the cabins with the first aid kit, which aren't good. And then there's the dock, which isn't very good. Because it's mysterious pills. But I think of the 3 of them, mysterious pills are the best item. So maybe we head over there. Maybe that's what we do. And then we can, we'll see which way the wolf goes. Since it isn't a tournament, I'll pick random. Oh, yeah. He is equal distance from both sets of those people. So we'll probably have him pick randomly. Okay. In any case, our first option here is going to be to walk. And we got a 2 and a 4. Okay, continuing our trend of having Absolutely terrible rolls tonight. Seems good. We're going to go ahead and move one space over here. Lose an HP and 2 time. There we go. Then we're going to walk again. A 1 and a 2. Oh, you spoil me tonight, dice. Thank you so much. Yeah, we're going to take a damage. And lose 2 time. And move 1 space. Yeah, I think it's worth going down in the fire pit to rescue this guy next turn. That seems good. Okay. We could... Oh, Michael, you should have seen last game. I think throughout those 9 turns or however long it was, I think I rolled a total of 6 successes. Total. I had to convert everything else. And that's including getting Alice's ult. So for some of those rolls, I was rolling 5 dice. Still couldn't get successes. Oh boy. Do we want to play the short rest? Maybe, to be honest. Or I could just turn in for time. I think let's turn in for time. We're going to discard both copies of focus. We can attack in short rest to gain 4 time. So that puts us to 6. And that's going to let us purchase 1 copy of Sprint, 1 copy of Search, and both copies of Close Call. So we've got Close Call, Sprint, Search. Easy. And all the freebies go back out. We go back to 6 time. And now it's Wolf's turn. So Wolf takes a look, and he has 2 legal options to go to, since there are 2 victims 2 spaces away from him in 2 directions. So we're going to roll until he hits one of the panic numbers on his space, which is a pretty common house rule that people enjoy. So if he rolls 1 through 4, he'll come this way. If he rolls a 5 through 6, he'll go up that way. And he got a 2, so he's coming this way. So boop, boop. So he's going to be staring at those folks. And then he draws his first terror card. Let me double check that I have 10 here. 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. Yeah, we do. Okay. So he plays... It's snarled with red glowing eyes. If there are no victims on the board, discard and draw the next terror card. Otherwise, walk toward victims. He's already there. Increase the horror by 1, and then increase bloodlust by 1, which increases horror. So that puts us to 7 terror. That's real rough, actually. We don't have any way to remove that terror. Oof. That sucks. Shoot. Had not thought about that. Maybe I probably should have played one of those focuses. Well, that's okay. We don't actually have to be moving this turn. It's not like we have to, like, rush or anything, as opposed to if we were playing in tournament. I gotta keep that in mind, though, for tournament, if I happen to pull Wolf in a later round. Let's see if I even make it to a later round. So I have 6 I can spend. I've also got 6 freebies, though. So I'm going to end up leaving some of these freebies behind. I think I definitely want to buy a Search, so I'm going to. So buy Search. I think now's probably a time for Improvise, so we're going to buy an Improvise. That only leaves us with 1, though, is the problem. I mean, I could just ignore it, I suppose. Yeah, I think we'll just ditch the 1. So we got Improvise, Search. Got Sprint, both Searches, Improvise, 2 Close Calls. So that is 6 cards. So we get 4 of our freebies back. We obviously need Focus, so we're going to take those. Both copies of Focus. And we'll take the Short Rest and the Weak Attack, I think. Which leaves both copies of Walk. Alright. So, we have Sprint, which is going to be our movement next turn. Search, Search, Improvise, Close Call, Weak Attack, Short Rest, Focus, Focus. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. Okay. He's going to stay right where he is and then play That girl, what's her name? She can help us. Put 2 victims in the space where you started the game. Okay. Then increase horror by 1, which increases bloodlust by 1, which triggers his dark power. So Wolf is now in hunt mode. With 6th Sense, he ignores damage effects from Retaliate. Okay. Sorry, 6th Sense. He ignores damage effects from reaction cards like Retaliate, which is actually one of his better ones, I think. But it's not the one that lets him use both his tracking and hunt modes, so it's not the worst it could have gone. The real problem that we're running into right now is now he's going to start killing victims every turn. But you know what? So long as I sprint over there, that just won't be a problem. So we're gonna roll. We're just gonna do that. So we're gonna play Focus with 1 whole die. Hey, we got a star for the first time tonight. So we reduce horror by 1, which is all we need, and we lose a time. Next, we're going to play our Improvise. Well, with 2 dice, ooh la la. And we can discard 4 cards if we want to. And I think we do. So probably short rest, weak attack, close call, focus. I think we'll discard focus, short rest, weak attack, and close call. That leaves us with a close call, 2 copies of search, and a sprint still in hand. So, we're gonna play sprint. And we got a single 4, which is a success. So we get to move 2 spaces. So we're gonna go 1, 2, and rescue both victims. Which we're going to take the move up to 2 spaces option. Annoyingly, I can't actually search this turn. Shoot. Oh well, I still think that's still good to do. So I'm going to go 1, 2 and rescue these people as well. We're going to take the -2 horror. So we go on to 4. We are going to take probably... Oh, also we lose time from sprinting. There we go. I think we take the long rest action card and 2 time? That seems pretty good. We're definitely now the wolf's target, so that's something to consider. Yeah, I think we'll take 2 time, go to 6, and the long rest action card. Because I doubt we'll end up saving another person in this game. So I'd rather just take that freebie while we have it. Cool. And that's going to be it for our turn. So we have 6 time. So we're going to purchase a guard for 2. Then maybe Furious Strike? Does that sound good? Yeah, I think that sounds okay. The other option would be like Distraction, or just a sprint and a guard to buff up on cards. But Fury Strike actually does something, which I think is more fun. So we're going to go with that. So we have Fury Strike and Guard. And then we have Search, Search, Close Call, Long Rest. And the rest of these... Oh, also, are 2 free walks, which were very important. And the entire reason I didn't buy the sprint. Okay. So the 4 freebies go back. Close call goes back in. Sprint goes back in. And 1 copy of improvise goes back in. Okay. Now it's the wolf's turn. He no longer moves for free, which is kind of nice. And instead, he now just attacks in his little space. So, good for him. There's no one there, wolf. What big teeth you have. If he attacks you and you prevented all of the damage, you lose an HP. But he gains 2 hearts as well. Okay. No biggie there. So he goes to 11. And he has what big teeth you have. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. So he didn't move at us, which is a little sad. A little bit unfortunate. But we can beat him up this turn. So we can probably do 2 damage. So that's probably not too awful. You know, I'm saying all this, but I'm almost certainly about to walk into his space. He hits me 3 times and I die. I can practically guarantee that's about what's about to happen. Let's do it! I accept my place in this world. I got success and a discard 2. We only need to move 1 space anyway. So, I mean, I guess we could be a little baby and run over to the utility shed instead. But, I mean, there is an actual weapon in there, right? Like, that's something. It's not a good weapon, but it's a weapon. More importantly, there's also bodies over there, so when he inevitably goes to start munching on people, like, at least we'll be there. If I just walk into this space, there is a non-zero chance I actually just die. I think we'll go after that archery bow instead. It's so expensive. No, what? Screw it. I don't want to walk over there. I'll just let Wolf kill me here. That's fine. That seems fine. Yeah, Wolf can just kill me here. So I'll spend the time to move 1 space into Wolf space and say hello. How's it going, buddy? How are you today? And then we're going to start digging. So we're going to play Search and grab those pills. We got 1 success and a discard 2 for another one. Ooh, that's tempting, actually. Unfortunately, I kind of need everything else in my hand. I do have a walk to throw away. But the pills are fine. In fact, I could heal back to full HP if I take them. Nah, I already know what I'm going to do. We're going to spend the time, discard 2 cards, and then grab the top 2 of the item deck. So we're going to discard Walk. And once again, this is real dumb, but close call. To take a look at the top 2 cards of the dock deck. Which are the pills that we talked about, which either heal us 2 or reduce horror by 1 when we pop them. And Pepper Spray. Oh, we're going to take Pepper Spray. Never mind. This just buys us a free turn. We're not going to die next turn. He's not getting a turn. So we're going to take Pepper Spray, because obviously we do. It's one of the reasons that makes this one of the easier maps. Dope. I did take a look after the stream was over. If I had thought about it, I would have looked at the end of the last stream, and I felt like an idiot after I realized I never checked. But yeah, you were right, Michael. Absolutely exists. There's definitely a card in Big Bad Wolf's deck that he just attacks you 3 times, and I'm so happy that exists. It genuinely makes this man a threat. Even if he's normally not much of a threat, the fact that that card exists means he can just one-shot you at any given point in time, and I think that's incredible. Okay, so do we search again? I think the answer is no. We actually don't have a reason to search again now that we get a freebie. You always pull at the worst times. I'm not sure there is a good time to pull that card, Michael. I think that's just a bad time no matter when you pull that card. It does move victims like closer to your space, so the idea, I suppose, is like, hey, look at all the victims who crowd around you, and now he kills them all around you. Except it's you and I, so we're never really around victims. Alright, well, since he's not getting a turn next turn, we're just gonna hold off and big chill. Just always pull it in your games. That's fair. I was very hesitant to even think it existed. So, if you start in the Big Bad Wolf space and he pulls that card reads he attacks you 4 times this turn, which is absolutely insane. Okay. Anyway, we're going to end our turn with our 4 time left. So we still have a Furious Strike, a Long Rest, a Search, and a Guard in hand. We're pulling Weak Attack, Short Rest, Focus, Focus into our hand for free. And then I think we pull Close Call and Improvise into our hand as well. So we're going to buy Close Call and Improvise. It is now the killer phase. However, if the killer's in my space, I can immediately discard the Pepper Spray and end the killer phase. So I'm going to go ahead and do that. And since I'm doing it before he plays a terror card, he doesn't get to do that. So we're going to go ahead and spend that Pepper Spray on the wolf. And the wolf is now a very, very unhappy wolf. So 7, 8, 9, 10 cards. Yeah, okay. Also, I forgot to reset the shop, so I'm going to do that real quick. Pepper Spray. Okay. Alright, so we're back in the saddle with our turn again, and we got to skip a terror phase, which is awesome. So we're gonna improvise. And hopefully we get double success right off the bat. Right, game? That's... You love me, right? So... Well, that dice is over there now, so I'm gonna go ahead and roll another one. Nice. Okay, cool. We actually did get double success. The game's just paying me back for last game. So all my 3s and 4s are now successes this turn. Alright, so we're gonna start by searching and hopefully we grab an item. So search. Yeah, show me weapon. Got one. Not great, but good enough. I'm not gonna spend a close call to fix it. We'll just take the top card of the deck, which is Old Revolver. I mean, I wanted a weapon. It's not much of a weapon, but it's technically a weapon, I suppose. I can't walk to use it, but sure, we'll equip it. Ugh, Ugg is right. It is so not a weapon. Alright, we're just gonna start beating on this man. We're gonna hit him with a... Well, we're not gonna play the weak attack now, since now the weak attack pumps up our revolver. So instead we're gonna... Also, hey, welcome to the stream, guys. Glad you could join us. We're just gonna play Furious Strike. Yeah. We'll roll with Furious Strike. And we got 2 successes since we played the Improvise a moment ago, which means we do 2 damage to the wolf. Pop, pop, which gets rid of his dark power. So he no longer has big teeth. We beat it right out of his mouth, and we lose a horror. Sick. Then I think we're going to... Also, are we at 4 time? No, we're at 6 time. I just forgot to reset it. There we go. Okay. Then I think we focus while we have the improvised plan, so we're gonna play focus. And 2 successes again. Man, these new dice really like me. So we gain 2 time and reduce horror by 1. We're gonna play another focus. Maybe the dice tonight just didn't like the one guy who I threw near the boys' cage. Maybe now that he's gone, it was like the one bad apple in the bunch. There we go, 2 successes. We gain 2 time, reduce horror by 1, and we're now at 3 dice. Sick. All right, things are coming up, Gretel. I think we're gonna play short rest because once again we still have improvise going on. We got 1 success, so we lose a time, but we do heal 1, so we go up to 5. We have guard in hand for his attack. We're gonna buy a second guard for his other attack. He's still only swinging for 1 damage, so that's not too bad. We're gonna hold on to weak attack so we can shoot him, I think. Yeah, everything's just looking real good on our end, to be honest. So I think from there, we're just gonna pass. For those of you just joining the stream, after this game, I'm gonna play one more tonight, and I have a straw poll up, which I linked in the chat. I'm gonna link it again here for you guys, where I posted a few randomized options for where our next game could be. So if you want to go ahead and go vote in that straw poll for which games you'd like to see played, we'll be choosing one of those to play next. Okay. So we're going to pass. We have 9 time to spend. We're at 3 dice, so this is pretty incredible. I think we're going to take... Sweet stuff. Critical Blow for 6. That seems good. Guard for 2. So 6, 7, 8. And Close Call for 1 for 9. Is that right? I kind of want that search. Kind of want the search. I don't want to discard anything in my hand to get it. So we're just gonna roll with it. We'll grab the search later, maybe. So we have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9 cards in hand. Two copies of Walk. So we have 2 copies of Walk, 2 copies of Guard, Close Call, Critical Blow, Weak Attack, Long Rest, and a second Close Call. All right. So all of our freebies go back, so that's 3 freebies in the pile. The Search goes back. Furious Strike goes back. And Improvise goes back. Cool. And now it's Le Wolf's turn. He actually gets to take a turn this time. Good for him. We are going to go ahead and guard it with a guard. I wish Old Revolver was a 0 or 1 range. I think it's such a bad weapon, and it could be improved a lot if they just let it work in your space. Like, the fact it's strictly 1 range is so terrible for it. Okay. We got 1 success, so we reduce the damage by 2. We're going to take it. And then he plays a terror card. He plays the Claws That Scratch. He targets nearest and runs at them. That's me. And then he plays this bottom effect, which is he attacks in his space. Deal the big bad wolf's damage amongst as many victims as possible. Done. If you are also in the space, you take any remaining damage after all the victims are killed. Sure. So we're going to go ahead and... do we guard that one? Yeah, we're going to guard that one as well. And we got 1 success. So, we are still killing it. So, while we're still rolling 3 dice, I think we're going to play a critical blow. Yep, we're just going to play critical blow. And go for 2. And we got 2 successes. I was going to make a joke, this is when the dice decide to betray me, but they're just really playing kind right now. They really dislike that guy we threw away by mistake. All right, so we deal 3 damage to Wolf and reduce horror by 1. Cool. So we're now at 0. Fantastic. And now we're gonna walk away from Wolfman. We got a 1, so we spend a time. We walk 1 space away. And then we're gonna shoot him with an old revolver. We got 3 4s. Which is fine. We're going to go ahead and... I don't really want to close call that. Doesn't seem worth it. I think we will just discard a walk and a close call in order to deal 2 damage and take 1 damage. So we take 1, he takes 2. Cool. Our long rest still won't get max value, so we're still going to wait on that. And I don't want to discard the close call since it's too valuable to give up. So I think the only problem I'm running into right now is I have to purchase the retaliate this turn. Because if he attacks me 3 times, I'll just straight up die. Yeah, even if he is still only doing 1 damage. But I think that's okay. 1, the chances of him getting that card are very low to begin with. And 2, even if he does pull it, the retaliate means I don't instantly lose. So we're going to roll with it. Ah! Shoot. Pardon me. Ugh. There we go. So we're going to purchase retaliate and a nothing. Which feels really bad. Would I buy anything else? No, not for 2. So yeah, we're just going to buy retaliate for 4 and a nothing. But we do get our freebies back of short rest, focus, focus. So we have some discard fodder. And we have walk, close call, weak attack, walk. They're all going back into the shop. Then critical blow goes back into the shop, close call goes in the shop, and both guards go back in the shop. So all of that's pretty good. Okay. Alright, Senor Wolf. He tries attacking a space, but there's no one there, so nothing happens. Then fire bursts out. Okay, it's not even a wolf card. That could have went a lot worse. Roll a die to determine which space bursts into flames. 1. That's the cabins. All victims in the cabins are immediately killed. Discard all item cards in that space. If you're an enemy or there, you each lose 1. So he gets to kill 2 people in the cabin. Good for you, Wolf. You did it. You actually killed someone. Way to go, buddy. Good job, Wolf. So 1, 2, every adjacent victim panics. Done. Cool. All right. He does swing for 2 damage now, which is the bigger deal. But that's all right. We still can't walk away or do anything of that nature, which sucks a little bit. And we actually can't really do much of anything this turn at all, besides just kind of pass. We could play long rest, and I think we will. Yeah, that seems good. We'll play long rest. Double success. Wow, the dice are loving me right now. We killed a max, so we go back up to 6. There we go. And then we will discard short rest for 1 time. There we go. I think we're also going to discard 1 copy of focus to go up to 7 time. And my reasoning goes, by going to 7 time, we can buy the Improvise and Furious Strike. So we're going to buy Improvise and Furious Strike, along with the remaining freebie cards, which were Weak Attack, Walk, Walk. So our hand is Close Call, Focus, Retaliate, Walk, Weak Attack, Walk, Furious Strike, Improvise. All right, that means it is now Wolf's turn. He throws a fit in his space, and then he's gonna huff and he's gonna puff, and then he's gonna come charging at me, swinging twice. So he comes on into my space. Okay, I have the one card I can guard with, so no matter what, I'm gonna take 2 damage. Yep, so I take 2. And then we will play the Retaliate in order to guard. We got a 0. That sucks. That's real bad. Shoot. That sucks a lot. I think we take 2 damage. Boop, boop, we go 2. Mostly because Retaliate's not going to do anything anyway, and I really want these cards so I can discard them for Improvise next turn. So we're going to go ahead and play the Improvise. We got 1 success, but we can discard 2 cards. So we're going to discard a copy of Focus and 1 copy of Walk to make that 2. And now all of our 4s and 3s and 4s are successes. We are then going to play Furious Strike for 2 successes to deal 1/2 damage to Wolf and gain 1 time since we're at 0 horror. 0 horror. Yes. So I'm at 7 time now. Then we are going to just walk away with 2 successes. So we're going to go ahead and move 1 space. Spend a time to do that. And then we're going to shoot the wolf with a weak attack for 2 damage, which should kill him. We got 2 successes, so we do 2 damage and kill the wolf. Bam, kill him with an old revolver. Let's see what his final heart token says. Da-da-da-da-da-da. 3 HP, baby, let's go. Time to die. Okay. Okay, wolf, I see how you do. That's no good. That's no good at all. Uh-oh. If he pulls that triple attack, we'll be fine, actually. We'll pull those 2 victims over to us, so we should be okay. Oh, no. Ah, crap. And our turn's over. Ruh-roh, Shaggy. Okay. We're going to buy both copies of guard for 1, 2, 3, 4. And the close call, probably, right? We don't have a walk in there, though. I think we actually buy Sprint instead. Sprint lets us walk away in case he comes charging at us. Because we will have to move if he attacks us next turn. That way we're not attacked again. So yeah, we're going to play Sprint. We're going to buy Sprint for 2. Okay. Then we're going to pick up our freebies, which gives us a hand of focus, short rest, close call, double guard, and a sprint. Not too shabby. Okay, and then these go back out. So weak attack, walk, focus, and walk all go back out to the shop. Improvise, retaliate, and furious strike all go back in. All right. Okay, so the good news is that he's on his white heart token, so next time we do 3 damage, we do just win the game, but it does mean he gets at least 2 more turns to try to kill us, and we only have 2 HP, which is bad news bears. So he's gonna attack in his space, do nothing, play a terror card. Run for your life. If there are no victims on the board, discard. There are victims. All victims that aren't in your space panic. He then targets nearest and attacks, then targets victims and runs at them. So he's only going to attack us once, so that's not too bad. So let's see here. We're going to roll for the 2 victims next to us first. Also, hey, welcome to the stream. Big Bad Wolf just revealed his Black Heart token, and so now he has 3 HP remaining. 4 and a 2. So this guy's going to run this way, and this one's going to run at us because they have no sense of self-preservation. But they will tank a hit for us, so that's quite nice of them. The person at makeout point gets a 6, so they're actually going to leave. And we got... Oh, I knocked the camera again. Shoot. Sorry about that. Boop. There we go. I need to find a better setup somehow. Not sure what that looks like yet. Alright. That guy moves at 2. Down there, and the 2 people over in the utility shed. 1 and a 5, so one of them's going to leave, the other one's going to stay behind. Makes sense to me. Okay. Also, if you're just joining us, if you want to check out the link in the chat to a straw poll for which feature film combo we play next, we're going to be doing that pretty soon here. Alright, so then... the wolf targets nearest, which is going to be this space, so he runs on over. Then he attacks and kills his victim. Increases horror by 2, which is no good. And then he targets victims and runs at them, so he's actually going to leave us alone. So he's 1, 2, 3, 4 from that one, and only 2 from this one, so he's going to just run on over here. And this person, seeing a bloody and broken wolf running at them, is rightfully going to panic and run away. Oh, hey, Isaac, how's it going? He doesn't move for free when he targets now. We were playing a terror card, which causes him to move. Ugh. He got a 6, so he's going to run off this way. No, it doesn't. I'm sorry, Isaac, I don't understand. Okay, anyway. Let's see here. Oh my gosh, Isaac, you're right. Gosh darn it, I forgot the key rule of Final Girl. No boot, no move. I do that so often. Isaac is entirely right. The person he killed was in my space because they panicked there. That part was fine. But when the big bad wolf attacks, he actually just attacks in his space. You are entirely correct, Isaac. Thank you for pointing that out. Man, I've got to get better at remembering that. So this person's still over here. We actually are still at 0. Since he just throws a fit in his space, then runs over here to this person. Here I was making the game harder on myself. Thanks, Isaac. Appreciate it. I love how you can point this out, and I constantly forget. This is the second time in like a week you've pointed this out to me, and I've just completely forgotten. Alright. So he's going to kill this person next turn, but since no one died this turn, this victim isn't going to panic again. They're just perfectly safe in our arms. We still only have 2 HP. Maybe we move away and just drag this person with us? That seems pretty smart. Sure. So we're going to sprint. I put in the terror card, discard pile like a dumb. Okay. We got 1 success, which is all we need, so we lose a time. Also, Isaac, if you're still in the chat, Michael, Planeswalker is my buddy Isaac, who I've been introducing the game to. Thank you for joining us, Isaac. Michael is a buddy of mine from the Final Girl Discord. They're a pretty avid player. So I'm going to go 1, 2, and rescue this victim, which gives us a heart to go up to 3. And more importantly, or actually probably least importantly, it lets us turn over Gretel. So now we can turn our 3s into successes. Hooray. That's so great. It's so great. Also, all of these cards in the cabin are gone because it was lit on fire. Forgot about that. Okay. Alright, what else do we want to do this turn? We have 5. We can't shoot the wolf this turn, but we can shoot him next turn. Aren't we all bad at Final Girl, Isaac? Isn't that the point? Wow, rude, Isaac. We're gonna play short rest. And we got 1 success. I think we're just gonna take the 1 success. I think we're gonna lose a time and heal 1. Cool. And then we're just gonna pass there. So here's the plan. We're going to pick up our freebies, which are weak attack, by which I mean shoot him with a gun, walk, focus, walk, and we're going to spend all 4 to purchase a Furious Strike, and hopefully this lets us kill him next turn. And short rest and sprint go back out. All right. So that leaves Big Bad Wolf's turn. So he stands in his space and throws a fit. And he plays on the hunt. He's going to target nearest, which is that victim up there. We're both 2 spaces away. He's going to run on over and attack. Unfortunate. Boop, boop. Kill this victim. For real this time. And then we gain 2 horror. Oh well. Unfortunate. Okay. So the answer this time is going to be walk 1 space, shoot the wolf, walk 1 space, Furious Strike, which will let us kill him. So we're going to start by playing Focus to get back to 3 dice, since being at 2 is no bueno. We got 1, which is all we needed. Go to 5, bring that down to 1, go back to 3 dice. Then we're going to play Walk. I think there's a very good chance we're going to win this game by shooting this man in the back. Move a space, lose a time. Nice. How you doing tonight, Isaac? You doing well? At 3:16 in the morning, a fellow night owl. Shoot him with a weak attack. Took a nap? Yeah, makes sense. Ooh, baby, a 0. That's like the only thing that doesn't win us the game. That sucks. Very unfortunate. We can fix it though, so we're going to fix it by discarding a focus and a guard. So then we get to shoot him with our old revolver for 2 damage, bringing him down to 1 HP. and gives us a 4th dice since we just triggered adrenaline. We're gonna go ahead and walk on over this bad boy space. Four dice, and we couldn't get a single success. Are you kidding me? Good news is it doesn't matter. We're just gonna take the damage and lose 2 time to walk into the big bad wolf space. And then just hit him with a furious strike. Yup. And we got the 1 success. Sure, we'll turn it into 2 successes to deal 2 damage to the wolf and put him down. There we go. Blep. That was fun. Wolf actually tried to do stuff that game. Woo! Killed him. At least Wolf tried to do stuff that game. I've had more than one game where he just stands around and does nothing. To be fair, he did stand around and do nothing for multiple turns that game. That did happen. But, you know, it wasn't nearly as bad. He mostly did it after he turned into his slay mode. So, and that was more because he kept pulling Camp Happy Trail cards after that. Whew. Got him. All right. Okay. So if anyone has joined us in the chat and you haven't yet, now would be your last chance to go vote on which feature film we play next while I put this guy away. If you want to follow that link in chat, I'm going to post it one more time here. Go ahead and go vote on whichever one you want to see me play for our last one of the night. Okay. And whichever one has the most votes, we'll play. Figure strike. Nice game. See your wish you got. Come closer, my prey, at some point. Oh, yeah. We were talking about that earlier. It's an action card that moves everyone 1 space closer to you or the wolf, one of the two. And then the wolf charges at the nearest thing and then attacks 3 times. So if you happen to be the nearest thing, he'll just charge at you and attack you 3 times. Wow, it's such a rough card. Jesus. Alright, so we had 3 victims dead that game and 5 saved. So Wolf made an attempt. No, Isaac, it's fine. You can always catch it later. You have a good night, Isaac. Take care. Thanks for stopping in. I've been streaming some Final Girl lately because it's a good time, and as I'm sure you haven't noticed, I'm a wee bit obsessed, so, you know. Okay. Oh, man. There was a knife in the deck, but not our knife. Not Isaac. Gretel's knife. Alright. Oop. Oop. And the setup card. That was fun, with a cameo appearance from Isaac, so that's always a good time. Back to 2 dice. Not gonna bother fetching the rotten die just yet. If you are catching this on stream, or on... What is it? Not stream. VOD, recording, whatever. YouTube. If you're catching this on YouTube later. I'll put a timestamp right about now to where the next game is. So you can skip ahead if you'd like to. You go over there, Wolf. Alrighty. Separate out these terror cards. Alright. Or throw them all on the ground. You know, that's also fine. I've got to find a better way to set this game up. Okay. Also, whoops, shoved all of the wolf cards in there too. There we go. You know, one of the funnier parts of Final Girl that I really appreciate, I really love putting it away, which sounds much meaner than I mean it. I just mean it's kind of a joy to separate all the bits back out and put them in the containers. The production of it's just so nice, and I appreciate all the little things like the icons in the corners and all that jazz. Just make it really fun to do these sorts of splits and put it back together. It's just something satisfying about it. I still do think it's a bear to set up, but well, not a bear to set up. It's not too bad, but I still have no clue how you people are getting 4-minute setup times. That is still absolutely crazy to me. Heck, I'm not even using a board, and it still takes me longer than 4 minutes to set up one of the 3 boards or whatever. Okay. Grail goes back away. All right, we're going to call that time on the pole. Let's see what we pulled here. So between Selena versus the Organism at Maple Lane, Reiko versus the Evomorph at Wolf Asylum, and Jeanette versus the Ratchet Lady at Sacred Groves, the results are in. We got a tie from Selena versus the Organism at Maple Lane and Jeanette versus Ratchet Lady at Sacred Groves. But since Isaac said that we can ignore his vote, I'm going to go ahead and make a call and just say, since there's a tie anyway, we're just going to do that. So we'll do Jeanette versus Ratchet Lady. That sounds good. Plus, it gives me an excuse to play Ratchet Lady again. And she's great, so. Camp Happy Trails, there it is. Oh, hey, boyo. You just waking up? Hey, bud. Let's see. Ratchet Lady at Sacred Groves. That sounds like a problem and a half. It's what I consider one of the tougher killers on probably easily the toughest map in the game. Oh boy. This game might be quick. It's might be pretty this might be over pretty quick. Gretel goes on back in. Which Final Girl was it? It's Jeanette. Cool. So we got Jeanette, who y'all might remember because it's the girl that I played on stream the other night, and the one I'm using in tournament, or at least that first round, where it's -1 horror, move 1 space, take a search card, take any top item card, and her special ability is bad, where you get a bonus hand slot. Cool. And basically she gets 2 tracking markers that you can spend instead of an item's like tracking marker spend. So that's not why you play her. You play her because she has 7 HP and 4 really good slots. There we go. All right. One moment here while I grab that out. Ratchet Lady at Sacred Groves. This should be fun. You know, I was thinking about it the other day, and I think it's really funny just how hard Sacred Groves Inky is, given that you get two of the better final girls in the set. Like, you get Barbara in that set and Adelaide, and I think both those characters are pretty fantastic. I know some people don't think Adelaide's very good. I think they're wrong, but they're allowed an opinion. Um, but I think everyone's in agreement that Barbara's crazy good. And I think she's probably the best girl in season one. I do think there are better ones in season two, but I think she was the best in season one, or at least she had an argument to be made for. It's like her and Charlie are both really up there in that she has 7 HP and a very very powerful ability, etc. And Adelaide is specifically made for Sacred Groves. She's the one who like when you complete her ultimate, she immediately gets to choose a bonus, and it's like a whole bunch of time healing to full, or reducing a wrath track to 0. And I think all three of those things are very, very good with right timing. Obviously, the weakest one would probably be healing, but even that's honestly not too bad. Okay. All right, so this map does have one small issue that we're going to run into. Namely, I have no good place to put the sacred, like the wrath tracker. Actually, I kind of do in the top right corner there, so I'm going to put it up there. But it is one reason that I'm probably going to have to invest or figure out some better way to stream. Some better setup for streaming, because it is rough. Okay, so for those of you who haven't played here before, this game, I've talked about Ratchet Lady just last time I streamed, so I won't go too much into her. Basically, she turns victims into maniacs who are little dudes to run around for her, and her other gimmick is she has no upper health value, so she can go as high as she wants. She starts at 6. Sacred Groves is notorious in the Final Girl community for being insanely difficult. I describe it as basically being a second killer all on its own. It's really, really rough. There are these 3 spots on the board called sacred spaces, and there's a whole bunch of cards that will screw you over if there are victims at the sacred spaces. The gods of the Final Girl universe really, really dislike people being in their sacred spaces. So there's this divine wrath tracker through the game. It starts. What does it start at? I actually forgot. Starts at level 2, so it starts way down here. And every so often, it's gonna unleash the wrath, right? Where you then do what it says. -2 time, not too terrible. Honestly awful, though. Losing time sucks. But, as far as these effects go, it's not too bad. It's just awful. But then they only get progressively worse. Like, raise the horror, discard random action cards. It can get super crazy up to and including losing 5 time and 2 random action cards, and the Wrath track stays exactly where it is, so it can do it again next turn. Somebody posted some situation they found themselves in while playing the Sacred Groves feature film. They were in a permanent loop where they'd immediately lose more than 5 time from some combination of effects, and so they would lose their next turn, right? Because they go below 0. So their next turn would start, get skipped. Then the killer turn would start. They would lose 7 plus time. So they'd lose their next turn. So they got an infinite loop where they just weren't allowed to play the game until Inky killed them, which I thought was incredibly impressive. So we're going to go ahead and put that up there and see if we can't flatten this out real quick. There we go. Yeah, I saw that story on BGG and thought it was awesome. I also think it's hilarious for what it's worth. It's just like, it goes to show just how difficult this map can be. Although if that did happen to me, I'm not sure I could even be angry. That's just the game picking on you. Also, in addition, we add this to the right of the... over here, right? And it adds even more bad things that happen when the bloodlust increases. So we got that to look forward to. I don't think I'm going to be able to fit it on camera along with everything else, so I'm going to keep it slightly off camera. But basically, to go over it real quick, the first bloodlust increase will increase the Wrath by number of victims on sacred spaces, then it unleashes Wrath, then it will increase Wrath by number of people at sacred spaces, unleash Wrath, then do both of them at once near the top. So I'll just be slightly off camera. It also, if we happen to go to the finale, we'll add this happy little marker to the Ratchet Lady's finale, which unleashes the Divine Wrath and increases the Divine Wrath. So, you know, super fun. I love how evil this map is. I genuinely love it. I love how much it's constantly trying to kill you. It really does feel like it just hates you, and I wish more maps were that way. Maybe that's not a popular opinion. I'm sure like there's people out there who think... I've heard people complain about Carnage at the Carnival because they really dislike that searching can hurt you. But I wish more maps in this game were just out to kill you. Like a couple of them in Season 2 kind of are. What are the ones in Season 2? There's Conrad, which is just on your team. Then there's Storybook Woods, which is... it's nothing. There's Station. Yeah, really, it's just Station. It really is just kind of Sacred Groves, Carnage at the Carnival, and Station that are the ones that are really kind of actively working against you. And between the three of them, only Sacred Groves, I think, is really working against you. I hope we get more maps that do that. I enjoy them a great deal. Okay. Shuffling all personalities and dark powers, putting them out. A question for you, Michael, if you're able to break away, or not break away, but just a question, I guess. I'm kind of thinking about printing out some of the custom content and maybe checking it out on stream. You think that's a thing that others like you and I would be interested in, like the people in the community, like actual plays of the custom content? Because I hope it would be. I think a lot of that content's super cool, and although some of it gets plenty of attention anyway, I would love to see it getting more actual play. I see tons of people looking at it and a lot of people saying how cool it looks and how much they want to try it. And then a whole lot of almost nobody saying they've actually printed it out and played it. And I think that kind of stuff deserves a lot more attention. Okay. I think I'm going to give that a go with the few of them I've seen, because I think that stuff, it takes a lot of effort to do. I'm sure the creators would get a kick out of seeing it, if nothing else. As someone who likes to make that sort of stuff, if I did something like that, I would love to see it. So, yeah, I think I'll give that a go. I'll try printing it off here sometime soon. Okay. So we got 10 tarot cards. Oh, also, I forgot the explanation earlier. Um, the set comes with an extra action card that costs 2 time. That lets you. Oh. Oh, right, because it's Ratchet Lady. This one lets you turn main expectant victims. And then Inky has the other one that I have to grab out real quick. Um, basically, it's a card that lets you bring down the Wrath Tracker. Oh, yeah, of course. I'm still going to play the regular films, too. Uh, and yeah, of course, when you start getting the remaining content, of course, you're going to want to play it. And there's tons of official content to play through. So, like, you could stream for a very long time and genuinely never run out of stuff to, like, new content. We've talked on the Discord before, and you've shared the numbers of, like, how many different combinations there are. Because it's crazy. It's like 200 plus. So even if we never repeated even if I were to never repeat a combination on stream, I could probably stream for so very, very long. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 10 tarot cards. I'm gonna break out the Maniacs and the Low Ratchet Lady. Cool, cool. Also, I need to randomize the final health tokens. Wait for a second, I'll randomize it up here. More space. I've been thinking about picking up coin capsules and then like painting one side of the coin capsule black and putting these markers in it, so that way I can just put them in a bag and pull them out. I really hate sliding tokens around to randomize them. Okay. One for me, one for her. Put that back up. I forget. Where's that go? Does that go on the top or the bottom? That goes bottom. Okay. Cool. Bottom of the board. These can all go back away. Put our card back out. There we go. Put those final health tokens up there. Me. Her. There we go. And I gotta go through Inky's crap real quick. Crap. Inky's up here. Ugh. Bolt's Atonement cards. Somewhere. There we go. Okay. Okay. Now I just gotta grab Jeanette. Boop. Oh, and shuffle all those. Oh, God. Set up. Blit. Okay. Set up cards. Yeah, I'm still waiting for North Pole November. Sorry to wrap it back around to what we were talking about earlier. I've heard good things about it so far, so I'm really excited for it. But I missed the Kickstarter bus, so I wasn't able to get it for that. Um, so I'm waiting for that to come in still. But that'll be exciting. We're really looking forward to it. More content is always appreciated. Shoot. There we go. Shuffling up events. Do 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 do. Alrighty. All right. Let's set up items. We gotta throw our scanner in there too. Cool. Maybe we'll pull it. Must say, I have missed being able to potentially pull Jeanette's scanner in the tournament. I'm actually a little sad that we don't use the envelope items in the tournament. Do I play any other board games? Oh, I play tons of board games all the time. I've been on a Final Girl kick since October, so I'm not gonna pretend that uh I'm not gonna pretend that I haven't been obsessed with this one for a couple months, but I do play a ton of other board games in general. Um, Final Girl's definitely my favorite at the moment. Let's see, favorite board game like ever? Ooh, that's a tricky one. I actually don't think I could pick just one. I've got a lot of board games I really enjoy. Some other ones I've been playing recently though would include I've been playing a lot lately. Isaac and I have really been enjoying playing Dark Tower and Dice Forge is a lot of fun. We've also been playing what's the one that Gizmos. Gizmos. We've been playing Gizmos. Those are a good time. And Ruby Combat Ready we're really big into. That's probably one of our favorite co-ops. Love Gizmos. It's super fun. Good time. I think I've played it like a dozen times now. I don't think I've ever lost Gizmos, which I don't mean to come off as like a weird humble brag. I mean more it's weird because I feel like in Gizmos I don't even really try super hard at Gizmos. Like I try at Final Girl. When I'm playing Final Girl, I'm playing to win. I'm really doing my best to have a silly time and win the game. Um but I really goof around with Gizmos. I'm really just completely focused on myself and just trying to build something cool and have fun. So I find it really strange that it just keeps working out. Well, that's cool. It's a really cool game to it seems like an easy game to just kind of pull out whenever and play since the rules are simple enough. It starts out easy enough and it's so quick to set up. It's quite nice. All right. We have Dueling Tour Guides. I've played this once before. Dueling Tour Guides. So we start down here. She starts up here. And I think we've already lost the duel, unfortunately. I think she is the better tour guide. West Kingdom games. That's cool. I've heard a lot about the series, but I've never actually played one of them. If I remember right, Viscounts is the newest one, right? Viscounts, or however you pronounce it. The folks on Dice Tower talk about it a lot. Oh, anyway, the joke I was making was she's obviously the better tour guide. She has more followers than we do from the very first turn. So, she's doing a better job. Alright, so there's 4 people down on Lost and Found. So this setup's actually kind of nice. There only starts with 2 people at the sacred spaces. If I recall correctly, the other setups have more people on them to begin with, but I could be mistaken. It's been a hot minute since I played Sacred Groves. No, you're good. I appreciate it. Please continue filling up setup time if you can think of stuff like that. I promise I will not complain. I'm so sorry I keep hitting this camera. I've got to find a better way to set this thing up. Oh, that can't be right. There we go. I was going to say, there's no way it starts with 4 people on exit space. So it's 4, 1, 1, 1, 4, 1, and then me. Okay, cool. And that's up there. Okay. And then I think we're good to start. So... is the answer just run up there? Let's rescue those 4 people, like, turn 1? Well, I guess I'll have to be turn 2. But, rescuing those 4 people up top away from Ratchet Lady sounds quite smart, and the fact there's only 2 people at Burial Grounds right now, that seems quite nice. The only risk we have is there's a couple terror cards, or 1 terror card, or I haven't investigated the terror decks. I have no idea what the actual, like, chances of certain terror cards popping up are. There's a terror card that's like, hey, move all victims adjacent to sacred spaces into the sacred space. And that one sucks. It sucks a lot. Anyway, my point was just removing victim denial against Ratchet Lady seems pretty powerful. And more importantly, victim denial against Sacred Groves is real important. Alright, let's pull our event. Boop. Close for maintenance. Thank God that's 1 less sacred space for these jabronis to defile. When this card is revealed, you may discard all action cards except Atonement to close a sacred space. Oh. That means I have to skip my first turn. If you do place the close slot on a thing of your choice, victims may no longer move in that space for any reason. Oh. That's a choice. Dang it. That timing is awful. I really don't think I can afford to just miss my entire first turn. I don't think I can afford to do that. Because I have to discard all action cards. I don't think I can do that. That just seems like it's too much extra pressure lost. Because that would mean that no matter what I do, the Maniacs are definitely going to get out onto the board and prevent me from just running at those people, which sucks. And in addition, it gives her 2 turns to which she can potentially just, go kill people and start upping all the horror and crap. On the other hand, since this isn't actually a race, I might consider... I don't think I can play the long game at Sacred Groves. I think if I play long game at Sacred Groves, not only does Ratchet Lady get her normal benefits from playing long game, namely she becomes giant tank, I think she's especially nasty here if she gets to do that because she's a tank. That means that all of the Sacred Growth stuff is going to keep triggering and keep triggering and keep triggering, and that all of that is awful. It's all bad. It's so crappy. So I don't think I can do that. I think instead I kind of have to rush her. Speaking of which, I didn't actually see what items were, and I've never seen this one before. So at the Welcome Center, way off on the left corner over here, we have Shaman Bones. Man, I wish I'd get my camera to focus today. Eh, whatever, I'll just read it. Nothing like the bones of the sacred dead, dude, when you need to peek into the future. Look at the next tarot card in either place in the top or bottom of the tarot deck, and you do that 3 times. That's actually quite good with our character. That's really good with Jeanette, because you almost certainly get your ultimate if you're playing casually, which we are. So that turns from 3 into 5, which makes it Selena's flashlight, which is just incredibly powerful. There's an aluminum bat at Lost and Found. Whenever you inflict damage to the killer with the aluminum bat, you may immediately discard a minor dark power, including 1 health markers remaining on the card. Well, that just seems good. Maybe instead of rushing those victims up in the top, maybe we instead rush over to Lost and Found and grab the aluminum bat. I'm going to start whacking Ratchet Lady with it. There's Map, which is Map. So you discard it during the action phase. Then for every deck of items, you can either turn the top face down card face up, or if it is face up, you can bury it. Which is really good. I think we just go Lost and Found. I think that's the play. I think we just go to Lost and Found. Yeah, that seems pretty good, actually. Also, man, I just realized just how many spaces on this board are adjacent to the sacred spaces. There's 2 whole spaces, one of which is an exit space, that aren't adjacent. 3 spaces. 4, 5 spaces. You have the 3 exit spaces, and then 2 search spaces that aren't adjacent to the sacred, and then every single normal space is adjacent to a sacred spot. Still crazy. Oh, never mind. I don't have to go to Lost and Found. I'm playing Jeanette. I should do the thing that I played Jeanette for in tournament, which is grab a free item. So never mind. We are just gonna run up and save those people up there and also be next to Ratchet later and then beat her to death with an aluminum bat. Of course we're gonna do that. That's much smarter. Okay. So we're gonna walk. Jeanette, I think, is one of the characters who benefits most from playing aggressive, because she only needs to rescue 4 people. We got a 1. So we're going to go ahead and not hit the camera again like a dumb. Move 1 space. Boop. And lose a time. And set everybody's HP appropriately. There we go. And then we're going to walk again. We got a big fat 0, and we're going to take it. To move a space, lose 2 time. Go to 3. And then... Actually, doesn't she start at 5 horror? I could swear she starts at 5 horror. Pretty confident about it. She does. There we go. Okay. From there, I think we discard both copies of Focus. Yeah, Focus, Short Rest. Yeah, we'll discard Focus, Short Rest. to gain 3 time, to go back to 6. And then we're going to hold into weak attack so we can kill one of the people next turn. Never mind, we're going to discard it too. We're going to go 7. I was thinking we could kill a Maniac next turn, but we're actually not going to end their turn in their space, so we can't both move there and attack them. So why would I bother doing that when I could instead just move 2 spaces? So we need to buy Sprint for 2. What else do we want to buy? So I could Sprint. Both close calls probably. So that's 4. I have 3 left. Distraction? Distraction. That seems good. Yeah, that sounds right. Because the Maniacs will only do 1 damage to me, which is fine. So we're going to purchase 2 copies of close calls, a Sprint, and a Distraction. Okay. Ratchet Lady's turn. She does nothing, but before she even goes, both of her guys are going to move 1 space toward me, and they're going to hang out with this little victim and be like, yo, you want to join our tour group? We got a pretty rad tour group. Huh? You get to stab people. It's pretty great. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 1, 2, 3, 4, 10. 10 tarot cards. Okay. Also, she needs a bloodless card. There we go. Okay. Top tarot card, which is... No one will notice if I break off one of these pretty branches. Increase the that by the number of people at sacred spaces. Unleash the that. Great. So we increase Divine Wrath by 2, which brings it up to discard 1 random action card. And then we do that. We discard a random action card. Ugh. Fucking Sacred Groves. Oh, and then we put 2 people at the holy groves. Good. And then everyone next to the Holy Groves moves into the Holy Groves. Oh, lovely. Oh, it's so great. I love it. Please break more branches off the Holy Groves and also fill the Holy Groves up with people so that way they can torture me. Those were hearts, not people. There we go. There we go. Okay, so I got 4 cards here. 1, 2, 3, 4, left to right. 5 is going to be a reroll. 5 is going to be a reroll. 3. This one. Lost a close call. Could have been so much worse. So much worse. So I'm going to take it. Yeah, Michael, that's about my reaction. Oh, Sacred Groves, why are you the way you are? The good news is it moved them away from the villain, right? So that's cool. Yeah, we're gonna go ahead and... No, not that one. We're gonna go ahead and sprint. Also, at least they didn't actually do anything. Ooh. That was a success. I just knocked it. There we go. Double success. I was trying to push it in the camera and hit it. Move up to 3 spaces. So I got a 5, and I'm going to go... Gosh dang it. Hit my camera again. I've got to find a better way to set this up. Oh, 1, 2, 3. To rescue 2 people. When I leave their space, I take a damage. Because I left the space with 2 maniacs. But I rescue these 2 people. So that's cool. I think we're going to pick... Oh, take any top item card. We're going to grab the baseball bat to go beat her to death with. Then what? Reduce horror or move? I'm gonna get to move 2 spaces next turn, so I get to move into airspace no matter what I do. So we're actually just gonna take reduce horror by 1. Bring that down to 4. Cool. Do I want to play distraction? Probably not. I think I'd rather discard it for the time. Let's see here. The Fury track is currently at 4 to discard a random action card. It's going to increase by 3, 4, 5 next time that it increases. So that's no bueno. And that's going to bring it up to 9, which is lose 4 time and increase horror by 2, which is also no bueno. And there's a whole lot of nothing I can do about it. So I think we just go kill Ratchet Lady. I think that is the play. I think we just run on in there and just start whacking her. So we have 6 time. Well, we're gonna have 6 time because I'm gonna discard distraction to go to 6 time. We're gonna pick up our freebies, all 6 of them. And then we're going to purchase. I'm so tempted to get Atonement and be like, yeah, if it goes up, I can bring it back down at least. Ha 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 ha. That sure does sound like work. Is the answer critical blow? It does 3, 4 damage plus 2. I could potentially kill her on my turn. Yeah. Yes. We're gonna go for a turn 2 kill on Ratchet Lady. That's the goal. I'm gonna buy a critical blow and just pretend that we're definitely going to work out and definitely kill her. Yep. Absolutely nothing will go wrong. This is all a dream and a prayer, by the way. I feel like I'm just playing comp again, but I think this is genuinely the best strat to do right now. Just because, oh boy. Things are about to get real south real quick with these people at the locations, and then there's not a lot I can really go do about it. Okay. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. Okay. You know what would be dandy? What would be dandy is if right now she played Admire Dark Power, so I could go Aluminum Bat it away. That would be great. Because Aluminum Bat gets rid of it for free. Okay, what's her terror card? Oh. If I climb on top of that statue, I can get a killer selfie. Increase the thing by 5. Great. Is it 5? Yep, it's 5. Unleash it so we go to 6. Place 2 new victims at the burial grounds. Then everyone next to burial grounds runs into the burial grounds. Woo! They are having a party in there. The good news is Ratchet Lady's done nothing because Sacred Gross has decided that it wants to just make these people idiots. Okay, well, I think if we don't kill Ratchet Lady this turn, we genuinely just lose the game. So, also I lose 4 time. Oh god. Alright. We're gonna go walk at Ratchet Lady now, and we're praying for some double successes. Ah! I gotta quit dropping dice. Alright. I got 1. 1's actually good enough. We're gonna take it. Okay, I am gonna discard a card here. to get back to 2 time. That way, when I play my second one, I can potentially just yeah, we're gonna discard a focus to go up to 2 time, and then we're gonna play walk again. That way, if I get 0, I don't have to end my turn. I didn't get 0 anyway, so it worked out, but I still go to 1, and I lose another HP for walking into her space, and I walk into her space. Hey, babe. How are you doing? Izmi. We met at the station the other day. You remember that? That was pretty crazy, right? Okay, then we're going to play the easy one for weak attack. And we got 1, which is all we need. So we're going to take a damage and do 2 damage to her. And then we're going to play Critical Blow. Fuck yeah. Critical Blow. Ooh, whole lot of nothing, baby. Let's go. And I forgot that I could... Oh, this isn't going to work out. All right, this is actually really bad, obviously, but that's fine. It's not that bad, to be honest. We're gonna play Close Call for free because we can't use the other ability to reroll both dice, so we're just gonna play Close Call for free to reroll this one. If this is a success, we might win this turn. If this turns into a 5 or a 6, we potentially just win. And it's a 6! Holy cow, we're in there! So we're gonna discard Short Rest and Focus to make it double success. So it's a 3/4, 4 damage, which kills Ratchet Lady and decreases horror by 1. Bam! She dead. And now's when she throws that she has 3 HP, and I cry. Boop! Nothing! Let's go! Hey, remember I mentioned about this being a short game? It definitely was. It just turned out that it was in my favor. Good thing I was playing a really OP final girl. Let's go. She got no kills. She never moved. She literally just stood there. Take that, Sacred Groves. Take that, Ratchet Lady. People say Sacred Groves is hard. Nah, you just beat it in 2 turns. Obviously. You just go kill Sacred Groves in 2 turns. Super easy. Barely an inconvenience. Ooh. That game might have taken longer to set up than play. I think it genuinely might have. That was not a long game. Holy cow, that is the quickest game of Final Girl I've ever done. I won on round 3. Killer got 2 whole turns. Also, I forgot to move those dudes toward me. It wouldn't have mattered. They didn't do anything. They just moved 1 extra space. The maniacs, that is. They would move 1 space toward me. I would have taken a damage earlier in the turn. It would have been fine. But I digress. Get got, Sacred Groves. Was that optimal? Or is that just me playing fun, stupid strats? I think in this case, those 2 things just kind of aligned. I think playing stupid, aggressive strats just kind of aligned to being the better call. Because things were getting so absolutely out of control terrible. Thank you, Michael. I think because things were just getting so absolutely out of control terrible, and it would have been so much work to try to go, like, manage and fix, that it probably just made more sense to just go in for the kill and get it done before things actually took a turn for the worse. I think I actually just might have played that right. Plus, good rolls really helped, of course. I got super lucky on that close call and success and all that jazz. But it did work out, so I can't complain too much. Whew. All right. Michael, remind me, the next weekly should start tomorrow or the day after or something, right? That should be coming up here. Or is the weekly taking a break because the tournament's happening? I'm cool either way. I just want to know. Yeah, tonight. I should be posting right now. Oh, okay, cool. Dope. In that case, next time I stream, I'll play that. That'll be fun. And after that, custom content if I got it made, or otherwise I'll do some votes again. See what people want to see played. And I'll have them pre-prepared this time, so I don't have to waste time on that. I sure am. I'm just that charming. All right. Well, I'm going to set this away. I doubt that's going to be super interesting content to watch, so I'm going to call it here. Thank you all for joining me in my 2-minute game of Sacred Groves. Jesus. 3-turn win. One time. Okay, I'll want to say goodnight and catch y'all later. Good night, Michael. Good night, Isaac. Good night, everyone else who stopped in to say hi. Hope you had a good time. Thanks. I'm glad you had a good time, Mike. Alrighty. Later, y'all. Have a good one. Bye bye.